PPG Adventure Show with no picture. Bring it up. And we're there. Okay. We're live.
Yeah, welcome to PPG Adventure Show number 28. Sorry for being so late, everybody, but between work and being out here in the middle of nowhere has screwed me up.
That's a level of difficulty, eh?
Yeah, that adds a big level of technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Soon I'll have the new satellite uplink working here, and that won't be that much of an issue.
that would be nice.
I'm just waiting on the proper equipment to be sent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who knew you were going to be on the road all the time, huh? When you started doing this. Oh, man. It's been an interesting week, guys. Been a real interesting week.
Very interesting week.
Yep. I told a friend of mine a few years ago, I said, he always votes on his presidents and his people based on their entertainment value. I said, make sure you vote for Trump. He's going to be very entertaining.
That's a guaranteed.
Yeah. And that was for certain. Yep. Oh, man. But, yep. What time is it? Hang on. I'll be right back. I got to grab something. I'll be right back.
Well, Nick, did you get any chance to fly this week?
No chance to fly this week. And I'm down one motor.
Down a motor, not the Mini.
Not the Mini.
Okay. What happened?
Well, while I was in Florida with Keith, I was playing around on the new wing, doing some, nice, real hard 90-degree turns low to the ground. And the pole starter assembly sheared off of the AC-130 and went through the prop.
Okay.
Oh, you telling him about your fun in Florida? Yeah, I wouldn't call it fun, but
what's the total damage then? Rewind, pole starter, prop,
and the front housing of the motor, because one of the gussets that holds the where you screwed the pole starter to,
sheared off.
Sheared it right off of the aluminum.
I've got a couple guys on here. Hey, Casper, JR Proder, Plainfield PPG, and Lisa Hiles. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Hey, Casper, what's up, man? Okay, want to make sure we knew you were there. You knew yeah. If I could only speak.
Share the links there. Get some other people come on if they want.
Sure. That's a good idea, actually.
Kind of short on the computers here when I'm remote the paracamper. And
so again, you weren't kind of expecting to be this far out of Dodge all the time.
So it is nice. The new job gets me out.
Oh no,
I wasn't expecting to be on. So
yeah, I hear you. Never know, do you?
Yeah, I might have to hit you up here, Tristan, about getting me one of those stars, possibly.
What's that?
I might have to buy one of them star paramotors now that the 130's down.
Well, I know a guy that sells them.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's interested, SkyMax Star, great unit, highly recommend.
I do have one request if I buy one.
What's that?
I want the Moster 185 Factory R.
Oh man, you like that, huh?
I like the fact it's like 4 pounds lighter.
Yeah. I just saw Tucker Gott went and put one on his. So I'm doing a little more research now, and I mean, a lot's gonna change for me, financially speaking, in the next year or so. This spring I'll be buying another wing. I'm not really sure what yet, but I'm looking at a few different ones. Probably like a high C. But if I can find a way to swing it, I think I'll buy a whole nother unit this year as well, if I can. A brand new SkyMax, maybe with the factory. We'll see. And then utilize the one I have as a loaner or backup or training rig.
Mm-hmm.
Keith is aware I'm working with. I'm going to be working with Jury this year, helping him with his business. But part of that deal was I want to get as many certifications as I can within the next few months here. That way I can at least say I'm qualified to teach. So
Mm-hmm.
paramotoring is not something that I even knew existed when I lived up in Wisconsin, where I'm from. So I'd like to bring it back up there and share it because it's awesome, just like you guys know. So
It's not just awesome. It's addicting. It's a drug.
it is. It is.
Oh yeah, no question.
For a long time.
Once you do it, man. As they say, it's love at first flight. You know, once you do it, that's all you think about doing the rest of your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I've flown, like you, Nick, I've flown fixed wings and trikes, and I've been a hang glider pilot, and I've been all these different things. And so far, paramotor is the thing I've had the most fun doing. Definitely.
Well, it's easy to understand why. I mean, it's flying, but it's you're connected in a different way.
Hang glider and paraglider are amazing if you live in the mountains and have a great sight or two.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here in Illinois, we don't really have mountains.
No, you got to have as they call it, the Iron Mountain.
But with a paramotor, you can do it anywhere, and it's not an issue. You don't need to have.
That's true. No, you're right.
We got thermals on our ass. We just fire up the butt fan and go into the air.
What do sailboat drivers call it? The Iron Jenny, or in this case, the aluminum one.
Well, I prefer titanium.
Yeah. Well,
I've grown very fond of that.
Yeah.
The factory R, a lot of the parts on it is now. That's why I kind of really want one.
Yeah, I've been thinking about playing with the idea of designing a lightweight one-off paramotor for me, for soaring. And one of the things I looked at was titanium. The problem is, if you weld titanium, forget that. That's way too much to get into.
I'm actually going to be learning how to do that soon. A buddy of mine that works for TimeMed is going to teach me how to weld it.
Yeah.
I have all the supplies now. I have titanium pieces. It's just the idea of learning how to do it. I want to learn I'm going to build a box to do it, I think. Okay. For smaller jobs, put it in there, purge the whole box with the argon, and go at it. So we don't have to worry about the post purge as much.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the newer machines will do a lot of your pre and post purge automatically.
Mm-hmm.
But having a purge box or something, at least a backing plate for purging, is going to be absolutely necessary. The challenge that guys like Keith and I have with that is that requires a second tank of gas.
Mm-hmm.
So, just food for thought. You've got the equipment for it sitting in the hangar.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't be too hard. I know a guy that can weld.
Yeah, I've heard rumor of that. If you guys don't know, Tristan's in his last life, that's what he did for a living, was a professional welder.
Professional welder turned into a school bus driver.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
thank you, Uncle Sam.
Hey, when's the last time you drove one of those buses?
It's been a few months.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Since they gave you your change, you don't do that much more.
Well, you never know. You're liable to get something going on here next week or two. You get to haul some troops around in a bus.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Me too.
There's not as much going on around here as everybody's worried about. My dad's very paranoid right now. He thinks the end of the world is coming. But I'm not even at work. I mean, if the Air Force doesn't need half of their employees, then is it really that big of a deal right now? On the other hand, my sister's Navy. She just got deployed a couple days ago, and she was supposed to go like South China Sea. And, well, they gave her a surprise right before they left the dock.
Not going to South China Sea.
Turn off all your communications. Don't tell anybody where you are.
Yeah,
they are patrolling the East Coast right now.
I can't imagine.
Loaded with guns pointing towards the shore. So
that's kind of
maybe
scary.
they know something I don't know, or maybe it's just an exercise, which wouldn't surprise me either way. But
yeah, that's true. Yep.
Why would you have guns pointing towards the coast as an exercise?
Well, you got to put them somewhere.
Go point them at China.
They're working on it.
No, man. I posted several places, so include my own site. Okay. Well, I was telling them, I said, if you guys have anybody here knows of Jonas Machine, I can never get his name right. Machino. He's one of the flying cowboys. I just thought this was interesting because he started out life as a paramotor pilot, and then started getting into he built a Capella and then a Kit Fox, and they did a nice series online where him and his girlfriend flew the Kit Fox to sell it. Unfortunately, he had a minor incident with the Capella, and it's kind of bent a little bit right now, so he's kind of going a little stir crazy. So he decided to pull out an old project of his that he did many years ago, and Tristan knows what this is, and thought it might be kind of fun just to share it with you guys, because I thought it was. Oh, you got to turn the screen sharing back on, Nick. You forgot.
Oh, I keep forgetting every time I launch this.
Yep.
There you go. You can now share your screen.
Okay.
Remember to optimize for video and make sure the audio is not going to blow our ears out.
Yep. Oh, which one is it? I forget. That one. Okay. Whoops. That one. You always got to remember which one you're sharing. Are we live? Oh, not yet. Not yet. Oh, it jumped on me. Hang on. There we go. Share.
There we go.
Freight powered paramotor, and it's I built it like 5 years ago. This is before YouTube. I actually tried to fly it once, and it didn't work.
So you've never flown it?
I've never flown. Well, I did. It got up.
What?
It got me off the ground like about 5 feet. Then I came back down. But it was during winter. I had all my ski gear on, and I've done a couple little modifications to it. So the way we're gonna get this thing airborne is I'm doing a few things. Hopefully we can get it airborne. We don't know. I think we got a little breeze. Wish it was a little bit more, but there it is, a breeze.
Wait, I can't believe you've never flown it. I thought you'd done it many times.
No.
What the hell?
I know, this is a special moment.
Shit. I don't know if I like it.
So, I mean, it got me airborne like 10 feet, but that's about it. So it's a cold day, so we got good density altitude, a little bit of breeze. The concern is that if I can't, first of all, if I get up in the air, that'd be awesome. But there's an issue that if I do get airborne, after I get airborne, I may not have enough power to clear fences and trees. So that's kind of a concern. I'm gonna have to make a call. We got a 1,000-foot field here.
You're gonna stay in.
Here, we'll go a little further. He hooks in.
Like that. All right, you ready, babe?
Yeah.
No reason. You guys know what it is.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot the most important thing that's gonna help me get airborne is being aerodynamic.
Oh,
how am
sorry,
I gonna
guys.
do that? With Harry's. Harry's is a personal care by giving.
forgot about his
also have
commercial.
amazing gifts. This is it. Here we go. Okay.
Ready? Be safe, okay?
What?
Be safe.
I love you, babe.
Love you.
Here we go.
Check out his left brake.
Ready?
Yeah.
Wait, you'll see. That one. That's kind of how it goes for this one.
That's too funny. You see what wing he's flying?
Oh, I know.
That's a K2.
Yep. There you go. Scared a girlfriend. Okay, we'll bump again. Oh yeah, I missed that. Yeah, you got to see the end of this one.
Oh no!
This is funny. Okay, let's get lined up, right? Okay, wing comes up. Goes crooked. Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Damn it.
What was that?
The cord got in there. So that's the end of it. Dang it.
What?
We've seen that.
Oh shit.
We've all had it happen.
Oh, that's a bad
no.
thing. Yeah.
Jonas,
I love the PEX frame.
Yeah.
It's no good.
your wing.
Okay, hang on.
Good.
Dang it. It's a very common thing
That's
that
not as
happens to
common as you
paramotors.
think, I hope.
But
There we go. We'll do it again. This is his second day.
we got a 3612. It's a little bit breezy, super cold. I was actually able to get this thing up almost 5,000 RPMs with this prop. It had some decent thrust. Not amazing. I will say it was not amazing, but we're gonna see. We're gonna give it a go. Let's see if we can do this. Phew. Still no protection net, which is super smart.
I love the
Yes, I'm
sound.
gonna start it like this.
It
I
definitely
know
sounds
everyone
different.
said, don't
Yeah.
do that. Which you're probably right. Not a good idea, but I can't start it when it's on my back. So choke a little bit.
Then he had a GoPro problem. But it actually flies. Comes the ground crew.
Crazy man. That was crazy!
Oh my god!
What?
I can't believe it!
Me too! That was nuts!
Wow!
You're
It
flying!
actually like had some pretty good thrust.
Really?
Like not bad. I think it's just this cold weather.
Wow.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Wow.
Like my GoPro I don't think works, so
Oh, it's dead.
yeah, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna try it.
Wow.
Whoa.
how
actually
long
works.
you were in the air for, like a couple minutes?
Yeah, quite a while.
Yeah.
It's got power. Like it's
So
crazy.
this new prop did it,
It's
huh?
the new prop.
Massive
3612.
Wow.
Man, I think it's this cold weather. I think it's this nice breeze, but I was so amazed. Like once I gave the throttle, I just like popped up. I'm like, oh no, it was a gust. But it actually was super good. So I think I'm actually going to maybe put a little effort into this.
Wow.
Make
this
it
is cool.
super loud.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I need
I'm
some-
I
really
just thought
cold.
that was
Okay, good.
Yeah.
pretty cool.
You're giving me bad ideas.
Yeah, that you could actually fly with a Harbor Freight 6.5 horsepower freaking,
$99
motor.
special.
$99 special. Yep. Same one that's in my go-kart, basically.
I gotta give him credit though.
I want to take that motor and build it the way I build it and try it.
Well, they say you can get 15 horse out of that one if you do some things to it.
I gotta give him credit. He's doing better than a lot of pilots out there because at least he has a functional kill switch.
Yes, he does. Oh man.
I know a few people that have had struggles with that. So,
Oh, we've all been there at one time or another.
yep.
What the heck?
I don't know if I'd be comfortable with such a small prop though.
Well, with that motor direct drive, you have to. That's because that motor that you're direct driving, so you have to run a smaller prop. You're only 7 horsepower.
I agree, Casper. It does look like a flat top that went wrong. That's pretty cool.
I mean, his frame is supposed to be plumbing for his house. So,
Well, just the outer ring. I mean,
all right.
yeah, the
None
rest
of
of
the rest of it was meant to be
no.
there either.
I didn't actually show these guys the welds I showed you. And then he showed us.
They weren't pretty.
No, not at all. But it did work,
Hey, he flew. I gotta give him
Yeah.
credit.
Once he figured out the right prop finally, and he could prop me, and who knows, maybe you can optimize it more. Get a little more horsepower coming out of it.
Yeah.
Dang.
I can get 18 horse out of one of those motors with the cam
I've heard
and crank
15.
I use.
Yeah, I've heard you can get some more horse out of them. That's what I've been reading and hearing from people.
Well, I
don't
use
think I'd
the
wanna fly one of those.
aluminum flywheel. Makes a difference. Aluminum
Yeah.
flywheel, heavier valve springs, different cam, different piston, different crank.
One disadvantage to his is because of the prop being right there with no adapter plate or anything to push it out. He doesn't have room for an exhaust system. He's open header, open pipe
Yeah.
right off the muffler, right off the.
Well,
And
you
that'll
could
help
make an
him,
exhaust
too.
system though. Yeah, but you can make an exhaust system.
Well, you'd put a little standoff on the prop and give yourself just a little more room. And
No, custom bend the exhaust, bring it down underneath the motor. I mean, look at all the
Well,
other machines.
yeah,
Right.
this would be pretty tight without doing something. It's that close.
The
Yep.
block's 4.5 inches deep from pull star to the back of the block.
Mhm.
You got a lot of room to work with an exhaust there. You just gotta bring the
Not
pipe
on-
down under.
Nope, he's got like a half an inch.
Yeah, the exhaust on that one is actually directed towards
The
the
prop.
out shaft.
Yep.
So his
Yeah,
exhaust
but you
literally comes
you had to
straight
bring it-
towards the prop. And
Yeah, you
he's
have to turn
only
it
got
down.
an inch or so to make that turn. It'd be very, very tight, but possible, sure. I
or
don't
turn
think
the head around.
I don't think I'd want to do it either way.
Oh, I think it'd be an interesting challenge to see what you could do. I don't
Sure.
think it'd fly my fat ass, but that's okay. I'd need a little bigger engine for me. It'd fly you, or
We'll pull a Kohler 25 horse out of the lawnmower.
I ain't picking that thing up.
100 pounds.
you want-
body weight.
You want to fly a Kohler? I got a 28 V twin sitting in the garage. I
God,
can build you a
forget
motor
that.
system.
No. That would have to go on a trike. Then it would work. The
No, it's an
Kohler-
aluminum block Kohler. It's a newer one, so that's
Okay.
actually fairly light.
He's got one sitting there on his zero turn. All he's got to do is buy another mower.
That's true. I do. Oh man.
I do want to.
I got so many of them laying
Hey
around.
Bill H, how's it going? Yep. Tristan, I don't think's looking at the chat right now yet. He just set his computer up.
No, I'm not. I'm new to the Zoom thing. You want to guide me through it? I'll gladly pull it up.
Well, you just have to open it. You don't have two. Can you put two screens up?
Sure.
Because you'd have to just go to Facebook and YouTube and open the channel, open the video.
I can do that.
Okay, then you'll get it. Didn't know what your setup was there.
Oh, sure you do. You just put it together for me.
I don't know what your monitor is, I should say. I know what your
There is a
computer-
65-inch video.
Okay, well that'll be big enough. Oh man.
Oh boy.
I'm actually working
Sounds
on
good.
the projector tonight for once.
Okay.
watching you guys on the side of the trailer here.
There you go. I've got one I keep. I've got one I bring with me sometimes. I'm probably going to throw it in this time because all the outdoor supposed to be decent weather. And
I'll have mine with me. We have this nice,
Okay.
big, huge trailer that's all white now. So we
oh,
have a great
yeah,
place to
I hear
project stuff.
Yep, there you go. If I want to, I could bring my 55-inch screen. The trailer's bigger though. 100-inch screen. Sorry, 100-inch. Trailer's still.
Yeah, I got a 130, 140 inch available here, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. Anyway, oh boy. Looking forward to it. Nick, if you wonder what Nick and I are talking about this, we're looking at going to both Salton Sea and the Arizona Flying Circus all in one trip. Trying to convince Tristan to go. If he can come up with the time. That's his thing.
Oh, I think I got the time.
Yeah.
I took a look at my leave this afternoon, and I think I've got another like 26 days saved up.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want to find myself unavailable for the Bad Apples flying
Oh, I hear. Oh, no,
make sure
I
I
haven't
have
go to that one.
for the Oshkosh event as well.
Yep. Well, add up your days. I'm doing all mine on 27. So, because I still have extras after that. And that name's all of my name to you earlier. So, yep, I can send you my time schedule.
Well, you could always haul Tristan's gear down for him, and he could fly down, meet you down there, do the 2 fly-ins, and fly home.
I was thinking about that. I just have to see what it is for the airfare.
Is there an Air Force base near there?
I'm not sure, but I believe the space. Well, I'm sure there's one out there. Close enough. But Space A, which is what allows me to fly for free, it'd be very, very slim chances of me being able to do it. I think they have actually shut it down because of the COVID.
Oh, okay.
So
darn.
I'd have to fly commercial just like anybody else.
Okay, I get it. Yep.
Oh, you can't get the free plane may come airfare rate there.
Well, in that case, you take.
You can, just not because of the COVID right now. They've stopped allowing us to fly for free.
Just for Air Force business, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately.
That sucks.
So, I mean, just if I want to go more than 350 miles away from my home right now, I have to have permission from my commander. So.
Well, this is definitely further than 350 miles away from your home.
24 and a half hours.
Going there, and 20 hours coming back.
Yeah.
From Arizona.
So.
You should be able to make that in one drive.
Just because I'm ground transportation doesn't mean I want to spend 24 and a half hours behind the wheel.
I agree. I've done
without stopping for fuel.
No.
That's drive time.
Yeah.
I guess that means if you do the speed limit, so I'd probably be there in about 20 hours, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't stop for fuel. I pull to the side of the road. I drain the weasel. I refuel the truck, and I keep going.
You're carrying a fuel tank. I'm driving a Beamer that doesn't have the capability of that.
Bill, I'm the same way. I used to say the same thing, and then my department got basically I call it we got sold out, outsourced to GE, and they have more vacation time than the hospital I worked for, and I've been there 30 years, and they let me take my senior time with me. So all of a sudden, I have more time than I used to.
See, with that Beamer, Tristan, we could install a external fuel tank in your trunk.
Good. Doesn't mean I want to.
Yeah, because after all, you put your paramotor in the back seat.
Right.
Well, a 60-gallon tank in his trunk and then a paramotor in the back seat with a couple of 5 gallons of avgas, he'd be doing pretty good.
Avgas. Who needs avgas, man?
No, I don't use avgas. Yeah.
Hey,
I like avgas on at least my AC 130 because it likes that fuel.
It smells good.
It does smell good.
Not that we're
good.
sniffing it.
No, but I mean, you're around it, you're gonna smell it. Yeah.
So, it smells good when you burn it too. I mean, I like the odor. You don't get that nasty gasoline smell.
Right.
I usually don't smell it when I'm burning it though, because it's behind me, so I don't care about that.
Bill, where are you located at that you'd have to quit your job for the fly-ins? Just curious.
He said those fly-ins. I think he's talking out California, Arizona.
That could be.
Yeah.
I kind of like going to the long distance ones I haven't been to. I want to.
Yeah.
In the next few years, I want to hit every fly-in I can.
Yep. I'm trying to move them around, and I'm gonna next year maybe East Coast.
East Coast, huh?
Yeah, next year. This year West Coast. Next year East Coast.
Well, I'll tell you what. If East Coast happens,
That's closer.
I at least have a place for us to stay in Virginia.
I've heard that.
My sister's
Yeah.
stationed out at Norfolk, so
Yep.
got a house out there.
Nice.
Where I'm at now is in Virginia.
What's that?
I'm in Virginia right now, actually.
Oh, okay. Kyle O Country. We were just there.
Yep.
We had a great time.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that was a
Ate lot of
blast.
food, probably drank too much beer, but we had a blast.
Ate way too much stuff wrapped in bacon.
It wasn't too much. It was just.
No,
enough.
you're right. It was good. It was good. It
I
was
say
awesome.
between stuffing wrapped in bacon and that boudin, which I'm addicted
Oh.
to now.
How about the boot? Did you have any of the boudin wrapped in bacon that one night?
Yeah, I ate too much of that,
Yeah.
and paid for it the next day when I almost couldn't get off the ground and did that really, really funky takeoff.
I hear you. Oh,
I haven't posted that video yet.
no.
I'm afraid to post it. I was literally underneath the power lines.
I still haven't seen that. I'd like to see it. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was scary. I looked at the video. I'm like, holy crap! I was under them lines.
Yep.
90 degrees. My body was under the line. I was under the lines, but over top of the fence,
And the wing
and I
was
was
on the
sliding
other side.
out. Yeah, but I was sliding out towards the road more and more as I was coming into that turn, thinking, if I go sideways through this, the wing's going to catch the fence and the lines at the exact same time.
Yeah, Bill, we met Bill there.
We met him.
Bill it was. Yeah.
I was just going to apologize. I don't take it
Yeah.
personally. I've met a lot of people in the last
No
year.
kidding.
So
Yep.
I think I probably know about 26 different Bills, all who fly, and a few that don't. So
including a couple local ones that fly.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's actually
That's
who
what
I
happens
call
when you
them
drink
under
too much
whatnot.
of this at the fly-ins. You forget names.
Oh, the
The
late
late
landing.
landing. Oh man, that was something.
Yeah.
We I think it was one of the last nights that we were flying out there. We took off from Kyle O's front yard, and that's the one that he was just talking about. That was his sketchy takeoff between the power lines and the fence. But we all made it out of there safely. We
Well,
flew
but
over
because he was flying the mini plane.
well, right. And how much do you weigh? 210?
Yeah.
215.
215
My
on a
weight.
plane top 80. Now it's a great unit. I sold it to him. It needed a little bit of maintenance, but
Yeah, it blew the head gasket on the first flight 15 minutes in.
that's my fault for not retorquing the head bolts. Lesson learned. I'll buy a gasket. But he made it off the ground, even though it was sketchy. It was safe. You know that they say any flight that you land from is a good one. So we all made it to the air strip that's about 3.5 miles away. Had a lot of fun over there. I got to fly the new F1. Had a blast with that. I had an unfortunate landing. Hit a nasty spot of sink and came right into the face of a hill. My knees plowed about a 4-inch deep trench, about 4 feet long, right in front of everybody. So
Yeah, I have that on video actually.
Yeah, that one made my week miserable, but whatever. I lived. No damage to the equipment, which is good.
No serious damage to you. You launched
Right.
again.
Just my pride.
Yeah.
But later that evening, we tried to take off, and we had a couple pilots that were struggling with their takeoff. Nick being one of them.
Yeah.
And
one of our guys,
as well as one of our buddies, Jack. Shout out to him. He's
Yep.
probably not you're watching, but
yeah.
they did make it off the ground eventually, but it was a little closer to sunset than they would have preferred.
Closer. It was more like well after sunset.
No, there was still light when I took off.
I
But I'll tell you, about
still light.
10 minutes into the flight, there wasn't much.
But of course, that came with some other poor choices, such as Jack with a dead phone. And Nick, without being able to reach his phone, eventually I made contact with Nick, and we found out he was in the air, but he couldn't find Jack anymore. That would be because Jack made the appropriate decision to land out in a field, only because he wasn't sure where he was and it was getting too dark.
He thought he'd already overflown Kyle's and hadn't made it there yet. Yeah.
Turns out 3.5 miles is a long way when you're heading into the wind.
Yep.
So after 10 minutes of flight, they both landed out. And then we sent the brigade out with a pickup truck to get them. And I mean, everybody made a safe recovery. So it was still a good day.
Nah, it was a good day. It was a good,
that was an interesting landing for me because I seen where he was at when I was talking to you on the phone. When I finally found him, and I circled for a little bit, went down low, made a pass just to kind of figure out the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I had it figured out which way I wanted to land. I come in to land, and at about 30 foot off the ground as I'm coming in, I realized there was something in front of me, and I wasn't sure what it was at first. I reviewed the video. We had cows in our path on the way in.
Hey, if nothing else, you made a lot of new friends.
Yeah.
They were very curious.
Yeah. What did the gal say that came over to Kyle's to tell us that what did she say?
One of your guys landed out in this pasture. You might want to go get them. Tell them they owe me one too. I'll send them with beer.
It was okay. It was good. It was good. Good choices.
Yeah. When I finally come to a stop after having to hop back up over a cow so I didn't hit it, I landed, turned around, laid the wing down, realized the cows were about 50, 60 yards from me. Before I had the wing pulled into where I could carry it, they were right there, like 2 foot from me, like trying to figure out what it was.
I'm sure they were ready to eat it.
They will eat your wing. Yes, I was just going to say that. They will eat your wing. Yep, definitely. Oh, man.
And I learned what it is about coming in at dark like that with your strobe on. That really screws with your vision.
Depends on where your strobe is, but yeah, he can.
I mean, when I landed at Kyle Lowe's, I didn't really worry too much about the strobe because I was guided in with a couple of road flares, which honestly was pretty nice. It felt like the red.
I would like to have got to use the road. I wish I could have used the road flare landing, but I kind of made the better decision to go land with the guy that was out. He didn't have a phone. I didn't want to leave him stranded
it was
there.
a good choice.
It was a good move. Yeah.
You both made the right choice. So,
like on the other hand, that was my chance to land over the pond and in the side yard. So that was kind of fun. I enjoyed that between the trees. I always wondered if I'd actually be comfortable taking off or landing there. And dang, turns out it was good. It was good. Yep. It was fun. But Kyle's is always a good time. I've been there to 2 of his events now, and I've had a good time both years. Yeah, this year is going to be a lot of good fly-ins coming up, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. I definitely am looking forward to Kyle Lowe's again. If nothing else, the camaraderie, man.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a cool dude, and there was a lot of really nice people there.
Yep. Next events, let's see, Arizona. We got the boy, I can never. I've got a mental block. Huh?
The Salton Sea.
Salton Sea. I got a mental block for that name. I don't know why. And then Arizona Flying Circus the next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to make them, but I'll do what I can.
Okay. And then we've got Palm Bay coming up in May, a month later.
Probably won't be there for that one.
Okay. Dang, that's a real good one too. It's a shame. Yeah.
Well, is it better than Arizona?
Well, I don't know. Going with the 2 of these, that's kind of hard to beat. That's 2 big events. Arizona's pretty. Can you? Well, I mean, flying out in the desert like that.
Oh, I definitely would like to fly the desert. The only concern I have is flying with the stand. Bill obviously likes the flying circus.
It's not as big a deal there. The stand isn't as bad because it's hard pack. It's not loose like it is on the beach, where you're picking it up in your prop all the time and tearing it up. It's pretty hard.
I've also never been out that way, so
yeah.
I mean,
me either. Arizona Flying Circus is, the only time I've ever flown I've been out at a paramotor event out that direction. I flew hang gliders on the coast. That was fun. Yeah, Fort Funston and that. South San Francisco. Yep, had a good time there flying them. But yeah, no, and I'm looking forward to Salton Sea. I've been hearing about that one. I've been itching to get there and see it. Then we got, let's see, the Bad Apples coming up. That's going to be a good
I
one.
will be making that one
Definitely.
for sure.
Definitely not
shout
going
out.
to miss that. Yeah.
Give a shout out to Tom Kubat. He's got his own channel. If you don't know him, look him up.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
actually my cousin.
Yeah.
Not by blood.
Tom's the guilty party for getting Tristan interested in this.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
You know, everybody in the military is expected to continue further education, and I chose.
Have a good one, Bill.
Turns out that flying is going to be really expensive, with $10,000 just to get a private pilot license, and the Air Force wasn't going to give me any money. So
Yeah.
he just so happened to convince me that flying a paramotor was a little cheaper, and lo and behold, here we are.
Awful lot of
2
fun.
motors
Too.
later, and a nice wing, and
Yep.
a whole new group of friends.
Yep.
And memories that have left an absolute lifetime. So
Yep. One of the advantages to a paramotor that I just dearly love is that when I want to go fly in Arizona, I load my paramotor up in my vehicle and take it with me and then go fly. And if I decide I want to fly it someplace off the side of the road, I find it with a nice spot, you unload it and go fly. It's cool.
I've been flying since May. I think I took my first flight in May.
Yep.
And since then, I've flown in at least 6 different states.
And how many hours do you think? I know you.
About 77.
Okay.
78, maybe 80. I don't know.
You got a lot of hours in that time. I know you put a ton of time in.
Had to.
Yeah. 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 You and I almost, as soon as you were safe to do it, we were almost immediately doing cross countries for an hour and a half.
Heck, 2 hours that.
2 hours.
2.5 that one day.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's a long one.
I've learned my lessons in the time. I mean, I've had one unfortunate event with a limited amount of fuel that caused me to land out. Luckily, I got a free ride home.
And you're only like 5 miles from the field, from the house,
right?
from the field.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's a time that I flew to get dinner.
Yep.
Unfortunate takeoff with that one. I was trying to take off in a very small field right next to a water tower, and the rotor coming off of the tower just kept turning my wing sideways.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get off the ground.
Yeah. When he says unfortunate, he meant unfortunate he couldn't get in the air, not that anything happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, as of right now, I have not, knock on wood, I have not broken a prop or damaged any equipment. So.
Well, you got me beat. I had 4 of them by this time in my career flying your time.
Yeah. Oh, I had a lot of people warn me. A lot of people, especially because I wasn't doing the training,
Yep. Yep. But
maybe there.
Yep.
Come here.
Yep. Yeah, we see the top of his head.
I'll move the computer in a second. I had to adjust the stand for a second.
Oh, okay. Mm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Bad Apples flying though, because I'd like to fly with Tom. I haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. And he seems to be a pretty good pilot. So
yeah.
Other than that, Oshkosh, of course. Keith and I talked about that this afternoon.
Yep, we're hoping to do the same thing as they did a couple of years ago. Go up and stay at the paramotor camp, and then fly into Oshkosh and adventure around, and then fly back. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, that'll be very cool.
In for that one too.
Yep.
Okay.
Then,
we'll
believe it or not, a week later, I'm going to Muncie, Indiana. Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the International Radio Control Helicopter Association.
Oh.
But I'm taking my paramotor because literally right across the road, 100 yards from where we fly, there's an airport. So I intend to do a flight.
Do you really need the airfield for that if you have enough room to fly RC?
I'm not sure how the Academy of Model Aeronautics thinks of paramotors flying off their field.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
No, it doesn't hurt to ask. You're right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Say no.
When they're done flying, if you want to, if you want to send one, come on.
Yep. Well, no, you don't understand. they aren't done sending done in like till like 3 in the morning.
Well,
with the
yeah.
RC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they night fly, and this place is like thousands of acres and hundreds of acres, I should say. And it has just got people flying RC helicopters everywhere on it. It's just amazing. It's quite amazing event for RC.
Yeah,
Well,
whirly birds and paramotors don't mix.
Yeah. So I've went to those events for years, and I've been flying RC helicopters since the 70s, and wanted to ever since I started playing with paramotors, I kept saying, "Oh, I'm gonna take a paramotor there next time," and then something doesn't happen, and finally it's like, okay, well, I'm a good reasonable paramotor pilot now, and it's 4 hours from my house, and this will be fun to do. I think I'll take the paramotor this time. No reason not to.
Yeah, why not?
well,
Oh,
perhaps
Fly
you
every
can,
state, every airport you
Bill
can.
Huh?
Perhaps you can get Bill to come out with the kid.
There you go. Never know. I'm thinking that. Yep. I ended up getting my little heli like his going. Very cool. Yep. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, you're now siloning. You just froze.
He's moving again. He had a little
Yeah.
internet
Better?
issue.
Yeah, you're better now. Yeah. Sometimes I'll start too
Closed
much
out that
stuff
other
up.
window.
Yeah, I'll have other things going in the background, and I'll realize I've got too much going and do exactly what happened to you. Yep.
Well, unfortunately, right now I don't have internet at home.
Oh, you don't? So you're running it through the phone?
Right. So
Oh, wow.
But that's all right. We're working on it. So
There you go. Well, you're at least
now
in
that
the
you're
middle.
back, I think I'm gonna step away for 2 minutes and grab another drink.
Okay. See you in a minute. Oh, man. I am so looking forward to getting out west and flying. That's going to be a good time.
I'm looking forward to getting in the air again.
Oh, air's good. I flew the other night, like I told you. I decided to try a new pair of gloves. Well, I'm 215, and I can tell you right now that my fingertips all started getting numb started hurting after about 6 minutes in the air. And I was up a whole 10 minutes. Time I landed, they were pretty sore. I discovered the gloves were just a little tight, and despite the fact they were heating my fingers all the way up, they were also cutting off the blood flow, I think. So
My last flight I haven't released on the video yet, but I flew Pilot Mountain, also known as Titty Mountain.
I just recently
nothing was really cool. I offered Tristan to do the actual real review on him because his hands are slightly smaller than mine, so he might actually fit.
definitely
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah, definitely. I think yours will definitely fit the gloves.
Nick, I don't have seen yet, but I did. I recently purchased a GoPro thanks to Black Friday, and was able to edit my first video. I got it up on YouTube now.
Oh yeah, what's your channel? You can give it.
What's that?
What's your channel?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's just my name, Tristan Dion.
What's kind of
TRISTANDIONNE. Maybe have to look.
You're not sure, huh? Okay.
You don't know what your own channel is. That's pretty bad.
Yep.
Well, like I said, first video.
Yep.
Yeah, Tristan Dion. Hey, I've got a subscriber. I don't know who.
I have one.
Probably-
Gateway Airport.
Probably me.
But unfortunately, I only have 2 videos up in how long? I'm really bad at. I've got tons of video, none of it edited.
Hey, don't feel bad, Keith. I've got everything from the past 4 fly-ins is still being edited, trying to upload it.
I've got about 2 years worth of stuff. I need to edit. Yeah. I just.
What
need
are you
to
guys
start
using
doing
for
it.
video editors?
Adobe Premiere Pro.
Okay. Yeah, you're paying for that, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you, it's worth it once you learn to use it. My problem is this thing has about 20,000 features. I know how to use about 100.
And that's the problem that I ran into with Blender. It seems like an absolutely wonderful program, but it's got so many different functions and controls that as far as just utilizing it for video editing, unless I get like a book to read how to do it, it was too much. And I ended up going away from it.
The thing I'll tell you, it's nice. I mean, you got to pay for Premiere, but they have a lot of tutorials on Premiere to help you out. And then there's so many YouTube videos about Premiere because everybody uses it. And since it's the industry standard, you can learn everything they have to do with it. And since when you pay for it, you don't buy it. You pay by the month,
Right.
Yeah.
the year. So every time there's an update to it, you get updates right now. It's not like you're waiting for something new.
I have a cat.
Yeah, I see the cat's cutting the green screen on you.
Well, she's on my lap, so. Oh, there's Princess. Yep. Or Gia, I mean, sorry. Sorry, baby. Yeah.
You're
Oh,
missing your
boy.
dog tonight.
Huh?
You're missing
Oh,
the dog tonight.
No, I don't let them in this room right now.
Good choice.
Yeah, not right now, no.
I'll be back here in 1 second. I just lost AC here.
Oh, shoot. Doesn't know I'm running a. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, generator out.
Yeah, generator down. I heard it load.
Oops. Yeah, I forgot to fill it up before you started it.
I ran all night last night.
Hey, Nick Griffin.
We got more?
Yeah.
Pull it back up here.
Oh, man, but shoot. Yeah, I'm kind of going a little stir crazy lately because as Tristan and them and Nick know, I live at the airport, so I'm used to flying a lot, and it's been kind of miserable. Like I said, that 10-minute flight the other night, as bad as my hands hurt, everything else was wonderful, and it just felt good to be in the air. Was my thing. It's like, whew. You know, getting grounded as somebody said recently, it's like there's something missing, when you're not flying.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now that background that you have up right now, that's your airfield, yes?
Yeah, that's Gateway Air Park. Yep.
Right. For those that don't know.
More of it there. Yep. But well, Nick's got an emergency here. Hopefully we don't lose power. Because the internet's still up. So
Yeah, we were back on.
okay, very good.
You needed 3 quarts of gas and a quick pull of the string, and it went right back up. So.
Lack of fuel. We've run into that before.
I think Nick has a continuous problem.
Lack of fuel, yeah.
Yeah. Whether it's the generator or the top 80. Or the AC.
Well, you keep telling me how. No, I have never run out of gas on the AC 130. I landed with the tank empty, but I was still running when I shut that motor off.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was running. There wasn't more than a shot glass worth of fuel in that tank, but I landed with that at least. The top 80, that thing, you told me it does good on fuel. That's a bunch of BS.
It did great with me, and I never ran avgas, so I can't tell you how it would perform with you. But at
I've
the
been
same
running
time,
I've been running Raider gas in it.
Yeah, no, because I could tell you right now, me flying the Moster on mine and Tristan flying that one, he'd put like a thimble full of fuel in there and have half of it left when I used like 6 liters.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite that good, but it was pretty amazing.
Oh, you would take off with about 12 liters,
Yep.
and I would take off with nine and a half.
Yep. I'd
We
have a
would
liter.
land, you would have a half a tank, and I'd still have 7 liters.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I know. And that's a
Okay,
fact.
well,
liters of fuel versus 6 liters of fuel. That's a big difference.
Oh yeah.
Well, I took off with damn near a full tank up in Florida, in Florida with Keith. And trust me,
yeah.
first time on that new wing, and I did not land where I wanted to land. It was a sketchy one.
The potato farm.
Potato farm. It was
That was
Florida
a peanut
peaches.
farm.
Peanut farm. Sorry, peanut
Peanut.
farm.
Even worse.
Yeah, no kidding. Yep.
How long did it take you to get the wing out of there?
I was able to. I landed. It had been combine, but there was ruts. And the bad thing was when I had the motor out, I was over a bunch of trees. There wasn't too many. There was 2 options to land. There was a green field which I headed for. I realized there was horses in it, and fence I didn't want to deal with. So I turned, went across the highway, and picked a field with 4 different power lines running through it. Ruts that were going parallel to the wind, so I had to go 90 degrees crosswind to make the landing, so I could go straight with the ruts in the field.
Yep.
And it was stubbly as hell.
Yep.
Mind you, this is on a wing I'd never landed on yet. I just took off with it the first time.
Yep.
Now I'm flying along, hauling it, and have to land with this thing.
Yep. Oh man.
And I will say that
Fun
wing comes
times.
to the ground fairly quick.
Yeah.
It does not have a very good glide ratio. It wants to
It's not a
go fast and go down.
It's not a paraglider wing. It's a paramotor wing. Yeah, but it's faster. It keeps up with people.
Well,
It way outruns the K2.
Oh yeah. The Trim's internet thing I was keeping up with you.
Yep.
It was a much needed upgrade.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the K2 is a lot of fun to fly. I know, but you know what's same. I pull out my 1995 APCO Prima once in a while too. But
hey, I'm not here to talk trash on any different.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying.
That's not what I'm here for. But I will say, you can only do so much.
Right.
With beginner equipment.
Right.
I mean, I'm flying a Universal 1.1, and I've been demoing all sorts of other wings.
Right.
I can tell you right now, when I pick up my new wing, it is not going to be another Universal.
Not that there's anything wrong with that wing.
No, I love the wing, and I'm not going to sell it. I'm actually going to keep that one as a secondary wing if I want to, go for a nice cross country or maybe do some thermaling or who knows. Maybe use it as a trainer to help other people learn, but it isn't going anywhere.
Yep.
However, if I pull
wing.
hard brake on one side or tip steering on one side, it does not dive and spin like I want it to. It takes a lot of effort for me to get that wing to do what I want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the F1 or the what was that 18 meter that I was flying that I think was Kenny's GTR?
GTR, yeah.
18 meter GTR, that was fun.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
I almost want to try that wing.
Mm-hmm.
That wing will kill you if you're not ready for it.
No, that wing's a little small for you too, Nick, for your weight.
So
well, I'm looking at pulling the trigger on the BGD Luna too.
Nice wing.
So I'm looking at several different wings right now. I have full intentions of picking one up once I receive my tax return. And the BGD is one of them. Not going to lie, it's in the running because of just how it looks. They're gorgeous wings. And I haven't flown one, so I can't really tell you how the flight characteristics are, but it's in the running. As well
they're
as the
fast.
Apcos.
From what guys I talked to, they say that the BGD is fast as hell for what it is.
Casper's asking how the F1 is to fly since you got a chance to fly one.
The F1, so I ended up flying, I believe it was a 24.
Way too big for you.
Does that sound right, Keith?
I don't remember what it was. I don't think it was
It
quite.
was either a 22 or a 24 meter.
I think it was a 22 because it was about my size.
Okay, so 22 meter. Now, for comparison, I should have been on an 18. So I was way underweight, at least to get the performance that I would have expected out of it.
Yeah.
With that being said, it still handled wonderful. It It didn't dive as much as I would expect it to, but I'm sure that was 100% because of the size. It did great wing overs. I don't think I did any barrel rolls on it, but it would not have been difficult.
You almost
and I
did
don't,
one at one point.
Yeah.
I probably, but I
Mhm.
don't think I was looking to do them. I think I was just kind of being cautious. But still, it didn't dive as much as I expected. The 18-meter GTR probably dove at 3 times the rate that one did, and probably 100% because of that size.
Would you say the one thing that surprised you was even with the size was how fast it landed and took off?
That is probably the biggest thing I have to take away from that wing. They call it the F1 for a reason, right? It stands for the fast one.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we've all been there on the field when somebody flies by real close and you can hear them whistling through the air because they're moving fast enough. This wing flies fast enough that you hear yourself whistling through the air, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's definitely not a beginner wing.
No.
Trims in, coming in for a landing. Obviously new to the wing, so I didn't really know its characteristics. I could have really stretched out the landing. It had a lot of ability to burn off that energy in a nice controlled flare. I came in and I kind of flared a little hard to set myself down. But even with that, I was running at absolute max speed for my landings and my takeoffs. It's a fast wing. There's no doubt about it. And going down to the proper size for my weight, I can only imagine it'd be faster. I believe my average flight for that wing was 54 miles an hour. And I don't think I ever went full turners out. Well, no, I went full turners out, but I never went on the speed bar. Never touched the speed bar. So it was moving. And I really like that about it, but I'd have to fly the proper size to get a real honest opinion on it. It's kind of hard to judge it when I'm not flying the right size.
Yeah, it makes it difficult.
So, but my next wing is probably going to be, haven't flown it, so I don't know, but either a free ride, the BGD Luna, or the APCO. I think there's the F1, and they're coming out with a new wing. I don't know if it's been released yet. I haven't been paying attention. But it's a new wing for this year, similar to the F1.
It's supposed to be more maneuverable and slightly less speed, if I remember right, or better balance.
Something like that. Again, I haven't demoed it yet.
No.
I'll probably set myself up with the guys up at Wisconsin Flight Sports, which is where I got my paramotor from. They're going to help me out if I buy more gear from them.
Mhm.
And if anybody that's watching this decides to go talk to them, tell them I sent you. Little incentive for me. So I'd appreciate it. Friendly people up there though. So we had a good time up there. At least I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I had a good time.
I got to fly the, it was just when I was getting off of the mini plane Top 80 and I flew the Atom 80. So it was really nice to have a honest side-by-side comparison of the two engines with the same wing, same pilot. And it was actually
Oh, there you go
a
again.
noticeable difference.
Yeah, your audio's gone again, Tristan. Did it again.
Hopefully that helps.
Oh, there you go.
So,
You said there was a noticeable difference from the Top 80 to the Atom 80?
Yeah, it had more
Yeah.
power.
the a little more torque. It was not anything to write home about, but it was there. I noticed it. So I mean, if I was going to recommend buying one over the other, if they're comparable weight and price, the Atom 80 is going to win. Not that I have anything against the Top 80. That's what I learned on. That's what I sold to. I have no problem with that motor or the mini plane frame that it's on. But the Top 80 or the Top 80 was it had less torque. So, and you know, maybe that's part of that is the fact that I was flying a motor with, 40 hours on it versus a brand new one.
40 hours usually it's just good broke in. That's usually when they perform
That's
best.
what I think, but
Yeah.
I'm no expert.
Mm-hmm.
Done my share of motor work, but I have not
Mm-hmm.
really messed with paramotor engines on very much. So.
They got to wear in a little bit. You can't just take them brand new and they're not going to make their full power till they get wore in.
Well, I'm at over 200 hours on my Moster 185, and it's still running perfect.
That's not wore in. That's wore out.
Not yet. Not worn out yet.
No, that I'll vouch for it. His engine runs like a top, and all he's had to do is what, a spark plug and a carb kit.
Yeah, change the air. Of course, change the belt, and the number one thing I had to change, the muffler.
That's because it was the MY19.
Yeah, you got it. but yeah, no.
You found a pretty nice replacement though. Who makes that pipe that you have now?
Oh gosh, you have to ask. It's
Well, the people want to know.
Yeah, I know. I've talked about it before. It's that's terrible. I cannot think of it. It's one of the big guys out there that provides parts and stuff.
It's not the Glider Sports one.
No, it's not Glider Sports. No, it's not theirs. Oh man, don't you hate that? I can't. Yeah. Don't get old, people.
I'm sure you'll remember though shortly here.
Yeah,
but
I'll remember it.
I think the big takeaway is that with the factory exhaust on the Mosters, you have kind of a power band where it jumps from 5,000 to 6,000 RPMs. And with the exhaust that Keith put on, it became a lot more linear and smooth, which made him capable of hitting 52, 54, 5,500 RPMs when he needed it, which just so happens to be at level flight.
Yep.
So you're not jumping into that quick power band and having it wind up on you.
No, mine used to do that, but it does not do it. Yeah. It does not do it anymore. Now it's nice and steady. It literally is linear now, which it never was before.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm trying to find it. I can't remember. I hate that. It's the same one. They sell throttles and boy.
Well, there's a lot of throttle companies out there.
Oh, I know. They sell yeah. Throttles aren't their best part. It's Bill. Oh,
Bill's got one?
Yeah, he's got one of their throttles. It's all right.
Oh, man. I'm trying to remember, but I don't remember what he flies with.
Oh, that's what's wrong.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Everybody to look up parts if you don't remember where they are.
Yeah, it's hell.
It's in his purchase history somewhere.
And I got to see about I haven't got a chance to do it when I get back home. I take the other motor to my other AC-13 belt drive.
Mm-hmm.
The rear housing is different, but the front housing is the same, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to strip that one off the frame and see if I can use parts for that one to rebuild this one.
Vortec Aero.
Okay, it's a Vortec.
Vortec, yeah. I've had real good luck with it. Yeah. We said about 41 hours at the Parafun Fest. It failed on me. Parafright with Mike Mixers last year, and literally borrowed another MY19 muffler and bolted it on mine and flew the rest of the event and ordered the Vortec Aero put on there. And I've put, I'd say everything but 40, maybe 42 hours on this new muffler, and that's over 200 hours. So no issues at all.
Did you borrow that from Mike?
No. I actually borrowed it from one of the guys here, Andrew, a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good
One
guy.
of our other guys brought it up to me.
That's the one advantage of having a Moster. Everybody has parts for the damn thing.
Yep. You're right. That's true. I'm actually this winter, sometime this winter, I'm trying to figure out when I'm not going to be flying somewhere and get all the parts together. And I want to go through the engine and just make sure it's in first class shape, update, do a rebuild on it.
Come on, just break down, buy yourself another motor. You can fly the new one while you tear the old one apart.
That's the one advantage to living in hell land in the winter. This is always the time you can pick to take it apart. Yep.
No, I can't do that because I never know when they might call me and say, in 2 days we need to be in Florida for work. So I have to
Well,
have something that runs just in case.
nice thing about a Moster 185, if you can't rebuild it in one day, you're doing something wrong. It's pretty simple.
Well, I think that's most of them out there, though. That's the beauty of a two-stroke. There's so few parts that are moving that it makes it easy.
Yep.
That doesn't
I have
mean
no problem
to
rebuilding
tackle
this
it if you
130
don't
and
know
just
what
getting
you're
the
doing.
parts for it.
Yeah, well, there you go. You can't get the parts. That's
one nice thing about a Vitarazi. I mean,
that's one of the reasons I
what was
picked
it?
it originally.
Maybe like a random Wednesday afternoon that we were all out at your field and you decided to rebuild the carburetor. And what you have to do, walk over to Jerry's trailer and say, hey, I need a carb kit.
Yep, got a carb kit from him out of the bus, and spent about 20 minutes and rebuilt the carburetor. And
I was going to say 20, 25 minutes later, and you were running again. So
yep. Yeah, that was the only problem I ever had with the motor. It started flooding out. I went it between runs. It would start. I think fuel was running from the fuel tank into the engine through the carburetor. Yep.
That's one downside to the simpler carburetors like that, is that the diaphragm, as they are worn out, if you will, they become stretched. They don't operate the way they're supposed to and create the vacuum that they need to. It causes problems.
Oh yeah.
Or lack of fuel.
But on the other hand, I was over 200 hours when that happened.
Right. But that's, I think with a diaphragm carburetor like that, I think it's really about calendar time, not actual run time.
Run time makes a difference because that's all those motions on that diaphragm.
Yes,
it does.
Yes. However, I think in time, the fabric that they're made out of does deteriorate and lose its rigidity and ability to retain its shape.
Sure.
So,
yep.
Casper, if you are flying, what kind of wing are you flying on now? Just curious.
He is.
Flying the really old one, I think, isn't he? Old paragliding wing.
Anyway, I say that way too much.
What?
Anyway, I don't know why I've gotten in a loop on it. It'll start driving me crazy that I discover I'm saying it a lot.
What's your next wing, Keith?
I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm still really enjoying the Hadron XX. So,
what size is
try that?
Mine's a 22.
You gonna try that new Hadron they got with the Hadron 4 or something?
3 Hadron 3. I don't know. I wouldn't mind flying one. I'd like to fly it. Although, like I said, I'm really enjoying the one I have now. Yeah, here's my other
hobby.
Yeah, one of my other things I do. Little bitty one I just got a little bit ago. That sucker will fly any direction you point it. It's amazing. And even has the ability, if you totally lose orientation, to flip a switch and it goes right side up. It's pretty amazing for a little bitty thing like that.
Well, the flight computers are putting them things are almost as good as they got in the drone.
Oh, this one has it. Has auto level mode. The only thing it doesn't have that you have in the drone, some of the drones, doesn't have a GPS. I don't need a GPS in my RC helicopter because I fly a manual. So
I was going to say, I think that's more of a beginner feature, and you're about as far from a beginner as they go.
Well, I mean, the bigger ones, some of the guys use them for camera work like they do drones, and it's real handy with that, just like a drone,
I suppose so, but when you're flying a camera, you're not also flying upside down and sideways.
No, that's true. Generally speaking, not. Yeah, usually flying right side up. Yep. But
I hope you're flying right side up.
No, I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. It just doesn't. The camera footage looks weird.
Based on a lack of response from Casper, I'm going to guess he may have signed off.
Well, he may still be there. He's just not talking. He sometimes people will mute their, while they're doing something.
True.
Yep.
But if there's anybody else, I think there's 5 or 6 different people watching right now.
Mhm.
If you are flying, what kind of wing are you flying? What kind of motor are you flying? I'm just curious to see what everybody's got.
Mhm.
Keith,
Probably
I don't
mainly
know.
Mosters.
That's
Possibly, but
mostly, yeah.
you never know. Maybe somebody's got a flat top.
That's true. It's always possible.
Yeah, but those have a Moster on them too, usually.
Yeah, these
There's
days,
always
that's
those-
true.
There's always
Well, that's where the
Okay.
Moster started. That's the one thing I do find kind of funny
Yeah.
is they started on the flat top before anyone else used them.
Mm-hmm.
There's always those weirdos out there though that fly the AC-130.
Hey,
I've heard of those guys.
ain't nothing wrong with that motor. Good motor.
Oh,
what was the nickname?
now. There's nothing wrong with an air contraption.
Oh, there it is.
You knew it was coming.
Yep.
No.
You'd fly one if you had one on your back, Keith.
Well, yeah, if it was in good shape and everything, yeah, I'd fly it.
Nothing wrong with them. Just got to maintain them. They're like a Harley.
I've done my maintenance on a Harley, that's for sure.
I started to make fun of it. Then I thought Tristan rides a Harley.
So do I.
I hear
Hey,
you.
it's a 96 and it runs great. Okay.
No, that's good. That's good.
I got you beat. I got an 85 lowrider, a numbers bike.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I did have to
Oh,
put a new ignition on it this summer, but I can't complain. I think it's got over 32,000 on it already.
I put a battery in my bike this year.
Yours isn't a bike. Yours is Japanese.
Hey, it's just a cruiser.
It's a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's a Suzuki Virago. Yeah. The big tank, the big one. Eight.
Yeah.
Yamaha
It's a nice bike. It's a nice bike. I'll give you that.
Suzuki, not a Yamaha.
Yeah, they both made the Brago. So
Yeah, Virago Intrepid or something. It's a weird name the way they named mine. It's the Intrepid Virago or something when it gets the big tank and it's the larger size.
Mhm.
But it's fun to ride too. Yep. My wallet's not in the Harley range usually.
Oh, come on. There's good deals on Harley.
Yeah, I know. I got a buddy of mine who's runs a couple dealerships in St. Louis. Been driving me crazy to get rid of my Suzuki and get a Harley.
I was about to say, if you can afford to fly, you can afford a Harley.
Well, but
Just put it out there.
but can you afford both?
I'm doing
Look at two of us. We both got them. Now I got a few of them.
it.
Yeah.
It definitely took a long time to acquire both. However, I've got them both.
Yep.
So
I hear you.
Now you got to start doing where you ride the Harley out to the flying field.
you know, I did it 1 or 2 times over the last summer, but I don't think they were days that I was flying because at the time I was bringing my equipment back and forth with me. This coming summer will be very different. I think my wing and motor might spend a little more time at the hangar so that I can ride. And then my YouTube videos will be a motorcycle ride followed by a flight followed by another ride.
Nothing wrong with
So
that.
what you got to do is ride the motorcycle through the field with your paragliding equipment on your back.
Nope. The most risk I'm willing to take is taking the paramotor back up home to Wisconsin and flying on skis.
That's risky.
It's been done.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen it done. It's been done right here at my place.
I could see it on a trike. I'm not sure about foot flying.
Oh yeah, no, skis aren't bad. Jerry was saying I watched him do it, and it's not bad as long as you're not having to do a reverse. If you got to do a reverse and turn around, sometimes that gets a little trickier.
Yeah, you can't stop on skis.
Sure you can. You just point your toes together.
Yeah. I mean, I've done my fair share of skiing downhill and cross country, so I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I don't see any reason not to. I don't think I would do it on any kind of full length skis just because I don't want to have
Yeah.
the possibility of putting them in the propeller or
There's a
tangling
lot
lines
more.
around them. I think I'd probably use them real short ones, but
Yep. Yeah, that's what
I know
Jerry
I'm
did.
willing to do it.
Yep.
As long as I
Yeah.
got a hard packed snow or a very little amount of snow.
I know you don't want to use ice skates. I watched Tucker do that.
No,
Yeah, it's really tricky. he
I believe that. I think that
take
would
off.
probably be best on a power forward.
Yeah, he did a forward, and the landing was still it took a knee. He was lucky. That's all he took.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
Took a knee, not a prop.
yeah,
If you come in on a foot drag and just let off a power though,
yeah. You still got to slow down with the skis, with your skates staying straight and everything, and you're coming down. You're moving pretty fast when you come in like that.
true,
Yeah.
true.
And you got a bunch of weight on you don't normally have when you're ice
Yeah,
skating.
yeah.
That's my thing. You got that weight kind of like cumbersome on your back, throwing your center of
Mhm.
gravity off, coming in hot, and then having to deal with that weight, and not fall over.
You're right.
That would be an interesting way to play hockey. Get 2 or 3 guys on skates and
Big old butt fans pushing them around.
There you go.
A much faster game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Probably a lot more carnage too.
oh,
But hey, that's why we watch hockey.
hey, I like the hockey for that.
Yep.
Did you see that Pittsburgh got beat by Cleveland
I heard
2
about
weekends in
that.
a row?
I heard that. Yeah.
No, I don't think I hear about anything hockey related unless it's got to do with St. Louis. I don't think the
In
people
hockey,
around
this is
here allow it.
stuff. This is football.
Oh yeah, I don't even follow football, which would explain why I don't know
Foot
what.
what? I'm sorry, foot what?
Yeah, I usually don't follow it either, but because
we
I
talking-
live in the Pittsburgh area
Yeah.
and I used to work in the Cleveland area, and they're 2 big
Mhm.
rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And Cleveland had a parade 2 years ago because they lost every freaking game they played that year. They actually had a parade for them because they went, 0-30 or something.
Hey,
And now to see them actually in the playoffs and beat
Yeah.
Pittsburgh 2 weekends in a row, it's just like, holy crap,
Hey,
what has happened to this team?
good for them. Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're making progress.
Yeah, to beat
Definitely.
a team that's been to the Super Bowl multiple times.
On any given day, any team can win the game. You never know.
Yep.
Cleveland has not been in the contention for the playoffs in 19 years.
Mm-hmm. I once watched the St. Louis, pardon the expression, St. Louis Rams win the Super Bowl.
St. Louis Rams, huh?
Yeah, they won the
Those
Super
exist?
Bowl one year. Not anymore. Yep.
Doesn't count if your team's no longer a viable team.
Well, they weren't a viable team then. They just won the Super Bowl. Now they're in California. Who cares?
You come out like Biden winning the election.
Oh, let's not go there.
No, this was way more legit. Sorry.
This is a channel about flying.
Yeah,
not
I
politics.
know. Shouldn't get me started. Don't get me started.
I don't think any of us will have anything good to say.
No.
I did hear that Biden's going to pass a new bill where every paramedic pilot's going to get a new wing and motor this year.
Yeah.
I heard that. Yeah. Unfortunately, if I know the Democrats, pardon the expression, guys, if you're a Democrat, nothing intended, but last time they gave us money, it was Bill Clinton, and he took it back at tax time.
Yeah.
So I'm leery. I was leery when President Trump was giving us money till they promised us and showed us that it wasn't going to get taken out at tax time.
Yeah, that first stimulus check sat in my account for a little bit just in case. I said, okay, time to give it back.
Yeah,
But-
that was last year's paramotor wing. Yeah.
That is what created what I like to call my stimulus AR.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, my hadron stimulus. That's what it was.
I'm just hoping they do like Europe's doing. They give us that $2,000 a month.
Yeah, right.
Get a lot of stimulus ARs.
I got a friend out in I think it's St. Charles, Missouri, who's starting up his own company for laser engraving and cutting things like
Okay.
laser requested. I thought about bringing it out to him and having him, engrave it for me with a little silhouette of Trump with the stimulus rifle underneath it.
That would be a good one to do.
That's good. That'd be funny. Yeah.
Then I don't need it to say fire and safe. I need it to say pew or no pew. Pew pew. So
If you're gonna do that, you need to mark on the other side, have the year of COVID 2020.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
survived.
UFO. Got somebody else on.
Oh, do we?
It's like getting ready to get back to training. Awesome. That's great.
Hey, you know what? The more we got, the better.
Oh yeah.
This is an amazing sport or activity that so many people don't even know exists.
It's amazing. You go to Europe and it's really common.
Exactly.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Over here, not so much. Yep.
Not so much. You're very right.
Yeah.
I had
We need more people in this sport.
Yeah. Where are
There's
you
not enough people apply.
Okay. Getting back to training. Oh,
That would
man.
be Rodman, UFO
Yep.
paraglider.
Yep. You're right. Yep. Oh man. But
I think Alabama's still a little cold to fly in right now.
Alabama. Yeah.
I can tell you Virginia is. It was snowing today.
Oh yeah. You in
Lots
north?
of it too.
You in the north part of the state?
Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I hear that.
So tomorrow I make a move for about 3 hours from here, further up where it hopefully is warmer.
Yeah.
I got about 2 hours worth of work to finish this site, and I get to move on.
Yeah, I know Jerry hasn't been doing any teaching here lately. They haven't been doing anything.
Roll Tide, huh? I know a few that would support that. But how long has it been since you originally started your training? Just out of curiosity.
He's actually a trainer.
He's an instructor.
Oh, instructor. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I know that. I just didn't read the
paragliders.
name.
You know who-
My bad. Sorry.
That's what happens when you're running a supercomputer through a phone for internet connection.
No, the internet's got nothing to do with it. The fact
Okay.
that I'm on, I don't know.
He's drinking. He's drinking COVID killer. That's why.
Yeah.
Hey, two things that the virus can't survive:
Mm-hmm.
temperature and alcohol. I'm not saying that a hot vacation on the beach with a lot of margaritas would prevent us all from getting sick, but I'm not willing to take my chances.
Well, I can tell you, hanging out at Palm Bay and drinking moonshine all week
Oh yeah.
definitely keeps the COVID away.
I don't want to hear nothing about no moonshine. You already know why.
You talking about Dave Pertins, or are you talking about here?
No, I'm still waiting for my shipment.
Oh, okay.
It's in Keith's trailer.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He was supposed to bring it back to you. He forgot to
Yeah.
take it
Mm-hmm.
when he left Georgia early in the morning.
Well, we left the same time.
Yeah, didn't you guys go fly somewhere else together?
Huh?
So didn't you guys go somewhere else to fly together?
That was Georgia. That was yep, America's Georgia, Hodges Field, where the Bad Apples have their.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the one.
We got to go
Field
over
of Dreams,
foot,
man.
foot drag Jimmy Carter Airport. Where they were washing the crop dusters. It was fun.
They seem to like that too because they were all out there with their camera phones
Oh,
taking
yeah.
pictures.
They got a kick out of it. Yep. But oh man.
Yeah, you make up this next one. I will have a quart of it for you there, Tristan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hold you to it. So let me know what I owe you.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, he
worst
can't
comes to worst,
legally-
I'll make Keith have to ship it back to you.
Mm,
You know, I can't legally sell it. I have
that's
to give it.
yeah.
Nobody sells anything here. Donations, man. Donations.
Donations only.
Yeah.
Yep.
Donate. Yeah. You donate to the channel, right?
Shout out to KC80RW.
Give you a little bit of that, that paramotor fuel that makes it run really good.
Yeah,
There you go.
makes me run good, that's for sure.
It's a COVID killer. We have to have it.
Ouch. Hurt back and say, yes, I do remember that. Yeah, damn.
If you remember with the new trailer here I have ample space to store lots of COVID killer on trips.
Good, good. Glad to
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah, the little trailer was a little cramped. And he's got a little trailer now, but it's still a lot bigger than the one he had.
What did you end up buying? Was it that 25 footer?
No.
No bigger than that. This one's,
What
I
have you
think-
been using?
Yeah, it's just 30 something.
The one
Is
you've
it?
been towing?
Yeah, pretty sure it's 30.
It's the same length as my 17. That's funny. My paracamper.
It's marked. I thought it was marked. Maybe it's a 21. I know it's.
Yeah. Yep.
I have to measure it. I haven't even
Yeah.
measured it. Damn. I know it's longer than the truck.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
you know what? You upgraded anyway.
Oh
The
no,
other
it
one was
works
coming
great.
apart, it seems, and it was due. So
Truthfully, for hauling paramotors around and doing what he's doing, it's perfect.
yeah,
You know? Yep.
So space is always like. I'm going to get that 47 I was looking at, that big gooseneck. But for a lot of these trips I
I'd
do, like
love
right
to-
now, this is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to take the time to take an enclosed trailer and build my own paracamper,
Mm-hmm.
toy hauler, whatever you want to call it. But before I do that, I gotta get rid of the Beamer. I'm gonna have to buy another pickup.
Yeah.
Yep, you got to buy a real truck.
Yeah.
Remember, real trucks don't have spark plugs.
Yeah, I know. I had one before I bought the car.
Okay.
I just couldn't see any reason to keep a 3/4 ton diesel if I was going to join the military because
After
the
all,
difference is a welder versus the Air Force. You don't have the same needs for vehicle transportation.
yeah.
Just when you buy a truck, don't do like Keith. Don't buy a toilet.
Don't buy a what?
A what?
Don't buy a toilet.
You mean
I'm
like
sorry.
a Dodge? You mean like a Dodge? I misunderstand. I must be misunderstanding him.
Yeah, a Dodge will leave you stranded on the side of the road with your transmission a half a mile back. I mean, Chevy pickup truck is the only kind of vehicle that is broken down on me because the motor went out, transmission went out, the rear end went out, and the transfer case went out, all separate times, but every one of them failed. And the F-250 I had was the only one that ever made sure I stayed on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, every manufacturer has its lemon, but my truck, even with a 6.0 diesel, never left me stranded. So,
Yep.
I have a problem with the 6 blows. I've worked on too many of them.
yeah, certain years, you're definitely right. In 05, they got a lot better. Mine was in 06. And by 07, they decided to quit making them because they couldn't sell them. So,
Well, when you have ones that are known to blow up at 20 or 30,000 miles, it kind of makes it hard to keep selling them.
no, you're right. You're right. And that's why they stopped. However, in the meantime, what the consumer failed to realize was that they had swapped manufacturers and had a totally different 6.0. In 2005, they came out with a whole new engine. But I don't think that's got anything to do with flying. So,
Mm-hmm. Well, it does. You got to get your paramotor to field.
I don't know if you noticed. The last time I was out at your field, I think that was last weekend,
Yeah.
last Friday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, don't remind me of that day.
Oh no. Oh, I guess you wouldn't have seen that. Why am I
No.
glitching out like I am? Yeah, the Universal 1.1, at least for me, it pulled its it completed its first barrel roll.
Oh, you did a barrel roll on a Universal 1.1.
Oh, I done them on Revo on a Revo too.
I've had
Why
opportunities
not?
in the past
Yeah.
where I find myself like, okay, I got the energy and the ability, the knowledge,
Mhm.
but it's just like I don't know if I want to push the limits of this wing any further.
I
It's
hear you.
not designed for any kind of acro. The manual says do not do it. Of course, every time I play on somebody else's wing that's a little more advanced, I go crazy. But I found myself in a predicament the other day where I had the energy, and it was like, why not? Why shouldn't I? So I did it. I sent it.
Just as
She
they
didn't even
say,
mind.
just do it.
Yeah. So she
Yeah,
rolled just fine.
Yeah, try it on my nuke. I bet you can get that thing upside down easy.
I don't know. What size is that?
26, I think.
I'd probably be pretty light on it, but who knows?
Mhm.
I'm getting excited for this spring. You know, I'm gonna be
Oh yeah.
one of these times I'll make a trip up to Wisconsin again, and on my way back I'll stop over at Wisconsin Flight Sports and pick up a few wings for demo, and come back and have some fun for a week and ship them off to wherever they got to go. Maybe that'll be in the same trip. Keith and I were talking this afternoon about going up to Chicago paragliding.
Right. Yeah, hanging out with Jaro and
That Andrea
Yep.
had told us about it. She flies up there. I apologize, Andrea. I can't remember your last name right now, but she's a big paraglider pilot, and she flies up there all the time.
Flies
She made it
paramotor also. Yeah.
She came out for Keith's flying this summer, the summer days flying at this field. That's how I met her.
Yep.
But I'd like to make a trip up there and fly off the winch for a few toes, and
Mhm.
I've got a jump paid for up at Chicago skydiving, so I got to go up there and
Mhm.
utilize that ticket before it becomes expired. So
Here you go. When you see it, let's see if it shows up. If you can see it. Oh, come on. Do you see what was
I
missing and
saw
he
that.
found?
Is that the
Okay.
ratchet on the brake
That's,
caliper?
that's the ratchet.
That's the
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Been sitting there long enough, it's rusted. Yeah.
Yeah. I think what they did was they forgot it was there and put the brake line back on, and the brake line's
Uh-huh. Holding it in place. Yeah. It's lucky you didn't wear a hole in that rubber brake line.
Yep. Nick, did we lose you?
No, I'm here.
Mhm.
Must have fell asleep, huh?
No, I just had to sit back for a second. My back. I had a little incident today with a hot water tank coming down out of the ceiling.
Yeah. My back's not doing so great either. Somebody posted the other day that they were looking for some help moving. And, I mean, $100 for an hour and a half of time makes sense to me. So I lent a hand and paid some easy money so I could put it towards the wing. And my back's been killing me for about 4 days now. So
Well, if you actually have a truck and some tools, you could join up with the company that Nick and I work for, and they'll make good money doing little service work.
yeah.
And it's a perfect job for paramedic pilots.
You know, I really gotta say I'm curious to see what it is that you really do. I mean, I've only heard about it, but if it's as good as I think it is, you're not wrong. That's a great gig for a paramotor pilot because you're traveling all over the place, making really nice money and having opportunity to fly wherever you want at any time you want. Just the ability to travel and to see the countryside, you know, I'm up for that.
And all you needed is, business name, insurance, and the ability to do simple jobs.
Right, right. Common sense goes a long way when it comes to the trades. So I was fortunate enough to be born with that.
My latest thing has been, jetting sewer lines, unclogging toilets, but they pay good.
Nothing wrong with
Hey,
that.
nope.
Money's money. It's all
Being
green and it all sounds the same. It don't matter where it comes from.
The HVAC industry slowed down, and there seems to be a lot of clogged toilets around.
What are you saying? People are full of it?
Especially right now with the time of the year it is.
Oh,
Well,
man.
the biggest thing is it's in retail. People put things in the toilets that they shouldn't be in there, and
Yeah, it's true.
Coming from somebody that used to work retail, I totally understand that. I swear they would stand 4 feet away and drop their trousers and pray and spray. I've seen some really nasty toilets and I really don't understand how they happen. That's about all I got to say about that.
I can tell you a power washer and a jetter machine work
Yep.
really good to clean up restrooms.
I've had my days where I had to walk away and said, nope, call somebody with a pressure washer because I'm not going back in there.
Michael Grump, I think it's Grumpman, says he's got a 99 F-250 V10 gas with 292,000 miles still going. Yep.
Yep. The old V10s, some of them were kind of troublesome, but those are the ones that hit 250, 300,000 miles and never give you trouble.
Yep.
No, the old international motor they put in the Fords.
Yeah.
They go 400,000 or 500,000 miles. You change oil on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Trying to remember. I don't remember. Perhaps Michael knows, but I had a 2006 F-250 with 6.0, and when I got underneath it, I can't remember if it said International or Detroit for transmission. No. It was not a Ford transmission, though. I don't remember who it was that made it, but I was pretty surprised when I crawled underneath there and seen that.
It was probably International was building their transmissions for a while.
Yeah.
But they dropped the International Navistar for the motors, which was the biggest mistake Ford ever made.
I think if I could, if money was not an object, if I had whatever I needed to spend, I think I'd probably pick up either a Ford or a GMC because they both have, nice interior. They're both a good ride. I put a Dodge motor in there because you just don't hear people complain about a Dodge diesel.
Well, it's not a Dodge, it's Cummins.
That's why it's a Cummins.
Right.
I bought quite a few Cummins. They just tend to come wrapped in, a Dodge pickup truck. Then I promptly yank them out.
But I mean, a Ford or a Chevy pickup with a Cummins in it, and go with like the like a 13 speed out of a semi. I'd be quite happy.
Not like a 13 Eaton Fuller with a 2-speed rear on it.
Exactly what I'm talking about. An Eaton Fuller 13. I don't think I'd have any kind of use for an 18, but take what you can get, right? But if I could find a way to make that work and money wasn't an issue, I'd already have one.
The 18 is a nice tranny, but they're a lot heavier.
Yeah.
And if you're going with a Cummins motor, they already have bell housing adapters to drop the 13 right on it without a problem.
Right. So, again, if money wasn't an issue, unfortunately, it's a big issue. So
money seems to it's always an issue. Yep.
And at the end of the day, if it's a decision to build a pickup truck like that, or build a house, or build an airplane, the pickup truck's on the bottom of the list. I'm 4.5 years into a 6-year enlistment, and I don't think I'll be re-enlisting. And my next absolute investment is a house. I have full intentions of picking up 40 acres and building a cabin in the woods.
Your next investment needs to be the property first. Don't worry about the house. Find the property, you can build an airfield.
So the property and the house will all be at the same time, because it's all going to be tied into the same VA home loan. The only reason for that is because a VA home loan requires 0 down. Um, it's really hard to beat. I used it for the house I'm sitting in right now, um, which is more of an investment property. I'm gonna rent this out after I'm out of here and use that income to help me. But I fully intend on having 20 or 40 acres and a nice 3 or 4 bedroom cabin in the woods, full bar in the basement, with an airstrip / gun range out in the front. So
Yeah.
If enough gun range, we can bring the big stuff up.
yeah, don't worry about that.
Northern Wisconsin. What part of that part didn't you hear?
I don't think I said that.
No, you didn't. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be in northern Wisconsin, probably just east of Stevens Point. For those of those that know where that's at. Originally from up in Anago area, but I think Stevens Point area is probably where I'll be, just because, as far as business goes, there's more money down there. But yeah, I'll be building a big old range. It's kind of a surprise to me that I don't already have a 338 Lapua. 50 caliber does not really have any appeal to me, because it just, ballistically speaking, it doesn't have any reason for me to buy one. I don't want to spend that much every time I pull the trigger.
But it's the knockdown power.
Yeah, well, other than vehicles, what do you have to shoot that needs that much power?
Yeah, your 7 mag will probably do it.
Huh?
Mainly I worry about intruders hiding behind a refrigerator, half mile away.
A 7mm will do just fine.
I was just going to say, your 7 mag will take care of it. That thing will blow your nose.
Yeah, she does all right. Yeah. Let's see, a 4570 with a 16-inch a Sweet 16 on the end of it. 4570 will do just fine. It'll put a hole through a refrigerator and a door and a garage and the neighbor's living room just to get to the intruder over there. It's a buffalo gun.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It also kicks like a mule when you got a bolt action.
4570 is unique because being that it's powered by old school technology, they ran black powder in them, and therefore today's load has to have a slow burning powder.
Yep.
So they don't kick, they push. It's different. A 7 mag, a 338 Lapua, they kick. Like Keith said, they blow your nose.
Yep.
You pull that trigger and you're going to know it.
Yep.
A 4570, you can give that to an 8-year-old. Yeah, he'll be standing 3 feet further back than he originally was. But he's not going to be hurting.
But if
and he's not going to have black and blue marks. It's different.
He's just going to slide back.
Yeah. It's a push, not a kick.
And have this look on his face like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, but it'll be the best what the fuck just happened that he's ever experienced.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I'll be right back. I got to make another drink.
Okay.
Alabama 52, Ohio 24.
Okay.
That ain't right.
That ain't right. I like it. At least he's talking college. That's worth watching.
Yeah, they're actually playing for the love of the sport, not for the money.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not an NFL fan, but I can enjoy a good college game.
Well, if they actually have a ECHL hockey game that we can go to this year, I might try to get to. I kind of miss watching, real hockey played for the love of the game, not for the money.
Oh, I hear you.
Where they have the bench clearing brawls, both sides get out there and the referees just walk off the field.
Well, that's old school hockey. That's when you go to a fight and a hockey game breaks out sometimes.
Oh, there's been quite a few of them with the Nailers.
Yeah, that's
I remember a couple of years ago near a playoff, before they even dropped the first puck at a game, there was a bench clearing brawl.
Wow.
Yeah, they skate out. He goes to drop the puck. He like fake dropped it at first. Next thing you know, they threw their gloves off and were just going at each other.
Mm,
But the game that about 2 or 3 days prior to that was
yep.
the same team, and they were both just going at each other hard. You knew there was gonna be a fight that next night.
Yep. Oh, I hear you. Oh man.
But that's what makes it fun to watch.
Yep.
Guys decide just to pummel the heck out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why they like it in Canada. They drink and fight, play hockey every now and then.
There you go. Yeah, nothing wrong. Yep. The only problem is they got this thing called winter. Ours is bad enough. They got real winter.
Well, that's why they play hockey. They have nothing else to do. In Canada, you either drink or you play hockey.
What do you mean? Most of the guys up there do both.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm from north central Wisconsin, which is what I refer to as southern Canada, and I mean, we kind of do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't even have ice rinks to play
you
hockey. You guys play them outside, probably.
What's that?
So you don't even have ice rinks up there. You just play them outside, don't you? Hose the parking lot down and have a hockey game.
There's a lot of outdoor rinks, but we do have a couple, indoor buildings.
Mm-hmm. In the summertime, you need them. It does get warm enough.
Right.
It melts the ice. Yep. Oh, man.
It's crazy. I've worked on a hockey rink forever for the one company. It was amazing where they put hockey rinks at. In fact, we did one in Alaska for the military.
Nice.
I thought it was kind of weird. They were ordered a chiller for a hockey rink in Alaska. But obviously it gets warm enough there at one point where they have to have ice.
Yeah, there are times where it has to happen. So unfortunately in the summer, even in Alaska.
Well, what's funny is coastal Alaska is actually a lot warmer than people think it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of the current coming up.
What's crazy when I say it out loud, it sounds crazy, but my hometown up in Wisconsin, Antigo, Wisconsin, on average is colder than Anchorage, Alaska. Yeah. We're kind of like in a natural little bowl, if you will, and the temperatures just don't go up.
Yeah, the worst part about building a chiller for them and installing it and having to write freaking manual for the military is they require the manual to be dumbed down so much. Have so many procedures that I could have wrote manuals for 5 different chillers what it took to write the manual for that one unit. And then we had to train them on how to do the maintenance on it, which was another manual.
Looks like UFOs in jail for 3 days. Thank you, Facebook.
Oh.
I haven't been there myself, but I think Keith has definitely taken his time.
Yeah, I've been in Facebook jail before. Oh, yeah.
You haven't been in Facebook jail yet, Tristan?
I haven't. I'm very careful about what I put out there for the world to see, mostly because I don't need to be on any list. I'm on enough of them already.
I'm sure I'm on a couple. Yeah. Hopefully not real bad ones.
So you don't post any good Trump stuff on there?
I try to share things that won't offend too many people. But generally speaking, when it comes to social media, I try to stay away from politics. I try not to discuss politics at all, only because it doesn't matter who you're talking to, even like, for example, Keith and I were both pro-Trump in so many ways, but there are things that we do disagree about. And it doesn't matter the day. We will find a way to come up to that disagreement, and that's going to be the primary focus, which is why I don't like politics, because it doesn't matter how much you agree. If you have any little bit that you do disagree about, that's what everybody sees. So I just try to stay away from it as far as social media goes, and try to stay in everybody's good graces. I will say that I did lose a friend the other day. I'm not really regretting that, only because he got loose lips about Trump supporters in DC, and he did not care for the fact that I pointed out that the Black Lives Matters and other groups that he supports literally just burn cities to the ground,
including parts of Washington, D.C.
Right. He did not care for the fact that I pointed that out, and he had some very choice words for me. But I stayed cool and responded with appropriate comments, and challenged him to have an adult conversation. And his response was to delete and block me from Facebook. So
yeah, I hear you.
It is what it is. A friendship that won't be missed.
Yeah, unfortunately, some people are just like that.
Yeah, I just stay away from politics. Long story short.
Well, now you almost have to. You can't say anything against the Democrats on there, or they block you.
Yeah. I hate using labels.
I like this. Somebody's holding up a big sign that says, Elon, now that he's the richest guy in the world, buy Twitter and delete it. you got to
when
like
you're done with that one, hit up Facebook, because you know what? If we don't have any social media at all, probably be better off.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yep.
No, he needs to come up with his own like Tesla media company, free for all.
Hey,
no one gets banned.
But he'll make money at it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, the Facebook and Twitter are making billions on it anyway now.
Well, actually, Twitter's losing billions, like 8.
Yeah, how much did they just lose?
$8 billion in value.
And why was it that happened?
Because they kicked Trump off.
And all of his followers said,
yeah. People have been canceling accounts left and right, from what I've heard.
Right. Now, again, I'm not here to debate politics or insult anybody.
These are just facts. These are things that even nobody disputes.
Actual information.
Twitter that I know. I'm sure there's somebody that disputes it, but I don't really care.
Here's what I don't understand with social media. That's freedom of speech protected under the Constitution. Mm-hmm. How the hell can they say you can't say this or say that?
Well, any other state country, that doesn't have the Constitution we have, with the Bill of Rights, with the part that says we have free speech, they charge $1 million in fines if you censor somebody or block them. But in this country where we have all that, they can block you, shut you down, do whatever. So that's a good question, how that can be done.
I will say that I have been seeing more and more posts in the last 2 or 3 days about the censorship that occurs on Facebook and Twitter, and how it's coming to an end. At least that's what I'm gathering, only because it impedes your freedom of speech. If you want to create a social platform such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so on and so forth, you have to allow the people to voice their opinion.
Well, that's why
not with censor or fact check.
But that's why they just shut down one. Amazon shut off their servers today.
Did they end up
yesterday? And they shut them off, and Facebook and all of them got together and basically put them out of business.
Because
you know why? Because they wouldn't do draconian censorship.
I do enjoy the convenience of Facebook and Twitter, and especially Amazon, because if I want it, I have it in 2 days. However,
not right now. It's like 4 days with Amazon these days.
I think it's about time that we had a little bit of a change. And Nick, you're hosting, so I'm going to ask you. I don't mean to throw you out there like this, but would you be willing to open up to anybody else joining so we can get other input?
Yeah, anyone that wants to come on here, they're welcome. Good. Heath can put the password out and everything for us.
Sure. Oh,
Keith, are you hosting now?
no, Nick is, but he doesn't have the. He's limited in his abilities there, so he doesn't have his.
I don't. I'm not calling anybody out and saying join, but if you're there and you'd like to,
Yeah,
looks
why
like
not?
UFO may have some things to say, just based on the last couple of comments that he posted on the live feed on YouTube.
Stuff here.
But the more the merrier, right?
Yep.
It's getting late for some people. It's 11 o'clock here in St. Louis. So I'll probably be gone in about an hour at most.
That's about where I'll be too, because it's midnight here.
In the meantime, cheers.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't believe they could shut down Parler like that. A private company that was letting people do stuff. And I know why
I'm not
Facebook and
surprised.
Twitter did, because Facebook and Twitter didn't like them because all the people were going to go over there.
Well, that's what happened. They had, I forget how, it was a huge influx since the 6th. They said just absolutely massive.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody that dumped Twitter jumped over there.
Yeah, I posted the meeting ID and passcode if anybody wants to come on. Yep.
Nick, you're kind of sliding out of screen there.
Yep.
You adjust your camera. There you go.
Yeah.
Now I can see your beautiful face.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right, I'll retract my statement.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll retract the
as a friend of ours, as an instructor, I've seen worse.
I've seen worse. So have I.
Yeah.
I had to start growing my beard again just because it's getting cold up here.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about shaving mine off, but I'm not the mustache, just a beard. But I'm gonna wait till it warms up.
Don't do that. I won't know.
Oh, so you're talking here in about 3 weeks?
Oh no, because I'm not, because it gets cold again when I come back. Unfortunately,
You're gonna be hot there at Salton.
it's supposed to be in the 70s.
Keith, I won't know what to look for when I come out to the field. I might think you're somebody else.
Hey, I shaved all this off one time back before it was gray, and my daughter was 5 years old, and she watched me do it, and she still looked at me like, "Oh my God!" every time she saw me for a week. And I walked into a club meeting, and people who had known me for years with the beard and mustache and everything, but never met me without it, literally didn't know who I was. So I opened my mouth. Yeah. It's like, first thing I get was, grow it back. It's not right. Oh man. It was cool. I haven't done that in a long. Well, my daughter's 25 now, and it's been 20 years since I guess I shaved it all off.
Yeah. I'm hoping that I'm gonna get a haircut in the next day or two, and might shave mine when I get back to the warm of Ohio.
There you go. I got to get a haircut. It's getting along again.
I never thought I had to say I would go back to the warmth of Ohio, but it's actually warmer at home than it is where I'm at here.
The warmth of Northern Ohio.
Where are you located right now?
I'm in Dublin, Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
How far from the coast are you?
Oh, far, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with it, so.
Well, Virginia's a long state the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be up by the coast later in the week, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a motor on board.
Yeah, it's not a good. Yeah. Still pretty cold on the coast there this time of year.
Hey, I'm looking at 40 degrees as viable flying weather at this moment.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely is. I remember this summer thinking, man, you're going to get down in the 70s. I'm going to have to dress warm. Now it's like, wow, it's in the 40s. Let's go fly.
After that cross country you and I did over to the airport,
Yep.
coming back, but it was, frigid.
Temperature was definitely dropping. You're right.
I remember a trip out to Mike Mixer's, who's what, 2.5 hours north of here. And that was for the October Paraflight fly-in.
Paraflight,
yes.
Yes.
And which great time for anybody that has not been there yet.
Oh, no, definitely.
He does put on a good event. Good food, good people, good times, May or may not, definitely did consume way too much alcohol on that trip. Keith knows.
Yeah.
To those that experienced.
Where's Tristan? Well, we think he's over in that bus.
For the record, I was under the bus. I was in the tent, passed out, ice cold, drunk as my. Oh man. Okay, we're not going there. We're not going there.
You already did.
You climb into the baggage compartment and go to sleep again.
No. So there was Keith and I made some new friends while we were there.
Yeah.
And, they had converted a bus into a camper.
And what's in the flying? Dang it, I can't think of it written on the side.
They did a really nice job.
It is a really nice job.
And they were great people. They really were. Very, very friendly and
not that friendly. I'm just kidding.
Well, in the process of consuming about 3/4 of a 175 bottle of Canadian Club that night,
Yeah.
You lost your pants? Is that what happened?
A big one. I between Keith and I, mostly me, I drank about 3/4 of that bottle that night. And the music was playing and we were just kind of, everybody was in the hangar having a good time, dancing if they wanted to. And I was dancing with one of our new friends. And at some point in time, in my drunken state, I decided that it was a good choice to slap her on the ass. Which was not a good idea because I literally did it in front of her husband. Apologies to both her and her husband. I'm drawing a blank on the names, but it happened. And when I did it, I immediately knew it was wrong. And I was confronted about it. And I said, you know what? Have a nice night. I'm gone. And I disappeared.
That's really
and
wicked.
everybody's like, where the hell did Tristan go? And they're like, I don't know, probably back to her bus. Wink, wink. In the meantime, I'm face down in my own slobber in the tent because I don't even know what day it is. Well, Keith found me a couple hours later when he eventually had enough to drink, came to bed, and he was like, oh, we found him.
Yep.
So for the
I can
record,
tell
I
you-
never went to the bus.
Yep.
There was nothing more than an unwelcome ass slap, which I did apologize for in the morning. There was no offense taken, no offense given. It was all good, but still not my best moment, I will say.
Oh man.
It could have been worse. You could have said, do it again.
And at the time, I probably would have. Not gonna lie.
Yep, I hear you.
I was a bit inebriated.
Kind of like at Carlos when Keith brings out the freaking margaritas he makes.
The pictures of margaritas.
Those are dangerous.
Yeah, they are.
For those that are not aware, if you find yourself at a fly-in known as Summer Days Fly-in at Gateway Airfield, or any
You'll be drunk.
a 4-hour radius where Keith Smith and Tristan Dion just so happen to find themselves, and margaritas come out, stay away. Stay far away. Because you, as well as us, will all be face down drunk.
Mm,
Not that there's a problem with that, but
yeah.
that's your warning.
No, it's not as bad as what happened at EFD up there with the Nebraska assholes and what I ended up doing with Kyle O that night.
No
Hey.
shit.
That's not a nice thing to say. Nebraska assholes.
That's what they call themselves. And man, they like to drink.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't met them, so I can't say if it's accurate, but
Yeah, you can't hang with them. Trust me. You'll be so drunk you won't remember your name for a week.
I will remind you that I come from Wisconsin. Now, with that being said, I haven't been to Florida. Well, not when I was of age of drinking, but my sister has been. She went to Florida for spring break. And she was there on the beach, and they were doing drinking competitions. They said, please introduce yourself. And she says, hi, my name's Nicole, and I'm from Wisconsin. And they said, congratulations, you've just been eliminated. Do not allow anybody from Wisconsin to partake in our drinking competitions because you are what we call professional drinkers. And they're not wrong. We're drunk when we go to work and we're drunk when we get home.
Oh, trust me, after seeing Mark Amison, that really shows.
Yep. Mark is definitely a fine example of Wisconsin.
Yeah, especially at down there at Palm Bay at 3 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the pitch black.
What's the last name?
Amison. He
Hey,
does you know who Mark Amison is, yeah. Yep.
He was so wasted down there at Palm Bay. They had to take the keys of the bike off him. He was around spotlighting airplanes in a dark field.
What's wrong with that?
In fact, there was campers parked in that dark field. And people riding one wheels and walking around drunk. And
yep.
You know, I just recently heard, by recently, I mean today, I heard of some other jackwagon out there that recently made a purchase for a one wheel.
Oh, don't have it yet.
Uh-huh.
yeah, make that too.
Yeah.
What's that?
Make that too, you know, that they've got a one wheel.
Did you do it? Did you buy one? The one I told you, huh?
Which one?
Nope, I didn't find that one, but I found another one.
Okay.
Did you buy? Pine
Plus.
or XR? Or?
No, XR Plus.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask what you spent?
You could buy a motor.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, ever since this summer, spending all that time out at the Gateway Airfield with you and the kids and others that were out there with them, everybody riding in circles and me Googling them, my Google Chrome and Safari and Facebook have all kind of picked up on that. And I've received nonstop ads for
one wheels.
how to purchase a one wheel XR for $52 a month.
Yep, that's directly from one.
Financing through them.
From the Notion, yeah.
Now I will. I would be lying if I said that I haven't considered it. But
Oh, I hear you.
you know what?
I
I got
originally.
bills to pay, and I really shouldn't be spending any money on something like that.
Yeah, I hear you.
As much as I would enjoy it.
Well, you know me, I went the unicycle route originally, which I've enjoyed. I'm not going to say I haven't. I've had a good time riding it, and it's
You
different.
wreck on it all the time, though. Every time you hit a bump, you're coming off that thing.
But that's the difference. It's
That's
stepping on.
That's because he's riding a narrow-wheeled electric vehicle.
And it's a very small one.
A small narrow-wheeled. It's not like a 17-inch diameter. It's like an 8-inch diameter. It's much smaller.
I got on one of the other guys at Palm Bay with the 18-inch wheel. And I was like, I could ride that thing at full speed around the field there, which would have taken, mine would have bottomed out and I'd have been stepping off several times. And,
up at Swanee, you rode Ripmans, didn't you?
Ripmans, that big one of his. And I'll tell you what, that thing actually is fast enough on asphalt that it actually can pick up high-speed wobble. I know I did it.
That's an experience I've only found at 80 plus miles an hour.
I didn't have to go that fast on a unicycle, but it's still
You had to
you're
get-
still moving.
You
And I
got
was
high
not.
speed wobble to 80.
No, huh?
I have on a 2010, my ex-roommate, good buddy of mine, Dustin, he's got a 2010 Harley Softail custom. I think it's a custom. It's a Softail, beautiful bike. It's got a 107 big bore kit on it, but it's also got like 18-inch eights on it, and forward controls with 4-inch extensions on it. So my 5'6" little legs, I can't reach the forward controls. So when I ride it, my legs are kind of dangling freely, and I kind of slide off to one side, hit it, or to hit the brake. But with my arms completely extended like this, and the back tire getting loose in first, second, and third gear, when I hit 80 mile an hour, it's doing one of these, and it's scary. It's very scary. Now with him, that doesn't happen until about 130. But it's because of the way the bike is set up. It's not because of the speed.
Yeah, it's not set up.
I get them like 130, 140 on mine, but that's the way I set up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Handles good at lower speeds.
Yeah.
I tried
great bike. It's a gorgeous bike, but for me, I'd have to lower the handlebars a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 inches, and I'd have to take the extensions off the forward controls because the extra 4 inches, it's just too much. And then with all that changed, I could probably comfortably let her eat first through fifth, hit 120 mile an hour, and then start finding that speed wobble. But Harleys are not intended for high speed, which makes sense. So my
custom bike made for high speed, but it's not. It would probably scare you. It scares me.
Mine's a 96 Fat Boy, which was only an 88 before it had the big bore kit, ported, stroke, ported, polished. We're talking about a bike that has full stage 3. And with mine at 100 mile an hour, it's pretty much at 100 right on the nose. She starts getting wobbly. Now, in my past, I will admit that I have had my nights where I have had more than my share to drink and let her eat. And I found myself at 120. And I will never do that sober, not on that bike. Scary as hell. So
My custom I built did.
not something I'm proud of. I'm just putting that out there.
This one will do like 140, 150 like it's nothing. The 140 cubic inch rev deck motor with a blower on it. And it had nitrous. The nitrous has never been used.
I don't believe that. If somebody installed it, they used it.
No, I installed it. I was riding it. The first few weeks I was riding it, about 3 weeks in, the break-in limiter come off. So I didn't know the rev deck had that. They have a break-in limiter on the motor that cuts the power back. I had just grabbed a fistful of throttle coming out of Pittsburgh up Route 22. It stood up at 110 mile an hour on the back.
Yeah.
I promptly pulled up the side of the road. I was riding with a group.
Cleaned
I
his
got a
drawers
nitrous
out.
bottle, and I drained the bottle right there on the side of the road. I said nitrous never used on this bike.
I looked at a new bike this summer. It was it was used, but they had done a full stage 3 or stage 4, I can't remember offhand, build on it with a turbo, and it was gorgeous. It was just gorgeous. The way they had routed the pipes and the actual build itself was beautiful. And the dealership, the representative for the dealer, the salesman, is like, nobody gets to hear this bike run. You know, he's kind of an asshole. He's like, if I start it, it's got to run for at least 10 minutes. And I don't want to waste that kind of fuel. So I waited. About 15 minutes later, I found another salesman. And I said, hey, what's with that one over there? It's got a big thing hanging off the side. What is that? He's like, oh, that's the turbo. I played stupid. He's like, let me show you. We walked over and he fired it up right away. And the whistle that she had, oh, man. Oh man, that turbo, man, it was like half the size of my head. Massive, massive for a little one, 107 cc or 114. I don't even remember. Massive for that kind of bike.
Yep.
He fired it up and it was whistling. And he fucking cracked it open and it went from like 0 to 100 right fucking now. And the other guy heard it. He came running over. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? You can't be starting this bike." And he's like, "Oh, my bad." And he shut it off. And he got his ass ripped again. So you can't shut it off after it's been started. It's got to warm up. But I still got to hear it run. And I think it probably would, stand up to its reputation. Sounded like a bad bike, and I think it really would be.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to go turbo when I built mine years back, and I decided I wanted to go with a blower.
Yeah, and to each his own, it's different, right?
Yeah, it was one of those, like, no one was doing it at the time. I custom built the blower for it. I actually built 4 of them. I still have 2 of them in my possession. I've never been put on a bike.
Yeah. And what kind of motor were you trying to put them on?
They go on a RevTech. It has to be at least 130 cubic inch. I'm using 140 cubic inch RevTech. But you could do it on a Harley if you did big enough bore kit on it.
Yeah.
But it looks nice. Belt drive.
Turbo is that you have consistent power boost versus your peak power boost. So
yeah, it's on there right now. I mean, you hit it, it's there.
It's always there. But with a turbo, if you're not on it, at least you have the fuel economy.
True.
So.
And with the blower, if you're not on it, you have the fuel economy somewhat too. As long as you're not just running wide open the whole time.
Is there another way to do it?
Not really. I mean, give me an idea. I built this bike 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has about 3,000 miles on it. It's more of a showpiece than it is a rider. 300-inch wide tire in the back. It's not comfortable to ride. It's a hardtail.
Okay. Only because we have not recognized it yet. Walter, I'm just going to call him Walter P because it's hard to read it from here.
Oh, hey, Walter.
Hello to you too. Looks like he's going to be joining us shortly. Possibly.
Walter.
We'll see.
Walter's out of Australia.
Is he?
Yes.
Down under in Australia.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Where toilets go down backwards.
I met a few guys down from Australia. They came up and they were military folk that I got to drive around for a few days. And somewhere around here, I actually got a couple coins from them, which to the average civilian doesn't mean much. But as far as military goes, a way of recognizing good performance or something good. It's a way of saying, hey, thank you for being whatever it is that I was looking for.
There he is.
They present coins, big metal, heavy things. And I got a couple of them from those guys. I got a real kick out of their uniforms, though. They reminded me of Steve Irwin.
Yep.
They had the, look at
There
that.
he is.
What kind of gear is that back there? How's it going?
That's Walter's. That's a powered parachute he designed.
You designed that, huh?
Guys.
I got a couple of them, those guys. How's it going?
Oh, we got an echo.
Big time echo. Steve Irwin.
Yep.
They had the, look at that. What kind of gear is that back there? How's it going?
Good, thank you. It's a
Powered parachute he designed.
powered parachute. That, guys,
I got a couple of them, those guys.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
You got YouTube running in the background there.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Turn that other one off.
or just silence it. That's what I do, so you can keep the chat up.
All right. Is that better?
Let's
Yeah,
see.
much
Yeah.
better. Much better.
See what the response time is. Are you hearing me?
I am.
Oh,
Yep.
beautiful. Much better.
Yeah.
How you doing
That's
now?
it. Now I can see you all.
Yep.
How is everyone? Keith,
Good.
Hey, I'm just peachy up here.
Mm-hmm.
Tristan, how are you?
I'm peachy. How are you?
I was waiting for some tips to come from you, but Nick was just touching you. I was
What
waiting for tips. He had tips from Tristan, and I thought, oh yeah, here we go, some nice tips on paramotoring, and it was just you two touching tips.
Just the tip.
Just a tip. Well, here's
Unlike when Keith does it, when he whacks the whole wing over you.
Oh, that was making a point. I told you that.
Here's a tip from Tristan.
Yep.
If you're gonna learn how to fly a paramotor, don't take your first flight when nobody else is awake or at the airfield.
Actually, I'll beg to differ there because we were going away flying to somewhere and I happened to be the last one to leave. And there was no one else on the ground and I had an incident. And I know what happened, but no one was there. No one was there to see what actually happened.
Yep.
And that to me was frustrating where I had this incident. I knew I buggered up and basically the wing come over to the left side and pulled me over and twisted me over and I had a bit of a flipperoo. And in my mind, I know what happened, but it's always good to have that second person or someone else to go, yes, that's what happened.
Yep.
I know it was my fault. It was my fault on setup and obviously had a wing change and sitting in my machine, obviously with my helmet on, I didn't feel it and made a big mistake. But it's always good to have other people around you. I like that for the sake of just seeing what goes on, you know.
It's also more fun to fly with other people.
Yeah, live and learn, you know, from other people's inception of what you may have done wrong or someone else done wrong. And, you know, it might be the fact of talk of the day.
So for those that don't know, I went the route of self-taught. I, at the time, could not afford to pay for training. Locally, in my area, it costs somewhere between $2,500 and $3,000 for private training for paramotor flight. And after spending, I think I spent about $5,200 all in all on a paramotor, a wing, a helmet, and any other gear that I may need to be in the air. And I thought that was enough money spent. So I went the self-taught method, and I spent many hours kiting a wing and learning the characteristics of it before I took a drive and found myself at Gateway Air Park, and I met Keith and Ellen out at his own private field. He welcomed me with open arms and said, "You're welcome to hang around, kite your wing, and if I see you being stupid, I'll tell you. And if you're lucky, somebody might show up and fly tonight." And it just so happened that 8 different pilots were in the air that night. And like that, I was hooked, and that was home base. And I came back. And that was in March. And 2 months later in May, I found myself out there on an early, I think it was probably a Saturday morning, an early Saturday morning, about 9 o'clock. And I think Keith had been on call that weekend for work and work all night. And because of that and other people sleeping in, I was the only one out there that was awake. And I did a few powered taxis, and I said, well, hell, if it happens again and I feel myself getting light, I'll just add more power. And voila, I got my first flight. And it was amazing. And it was a big learning experience. And about 2 minutes into it, I kind of just did a big, huge 360-degree circle. Nothing spectacular, but in that time, I flew over a baseball diamond that I was going from a green field to a brown dirt field.
With lots of sunshine.
9:30 in the morning with lots of sunshine, and the thermals, they were kicking. And when I came over that field, well, I went about 150 feet up in about 2 seconds, and my butthole puckered right up. And I said, I don't belong up here right now.
Look on that.
I landed. I came for my landing, one attempt, and I don't know if it was the wind change or just sheer luck, but I came in never having a toe or never been off the ground before. I came in and I got a perfect flare touchdown, and I didn't even take a step. I had a perfect, safe landing. I'm very grateful for that, and it has allowed me to continue learning how to fly out at Gateway Airfield to this date, without any damaged equipment, including any broken propellers. So I'm very thankful for that. But
yeah, look, I'd say you pick things up easily, shall I say, and can nut things out yourself. A lot of people can't do that, where they have to be shown. They have to be shown every little aspect because they haven't thought of it.
And you know, that's why I like to say common sense is a rare commodity, but there's no replacement for it.
No.
Although I did do the self-train method, I will not recommend it because I don't have faith in the average person to have that common sense and say, I need to slow down. Yeah. I've definitely had my moments where I excel too quickly or push myself too much, but Keith has always been there for me and said, hey, slow down and think about what you're doing. I'm 78 hours in, and I've flown at least 8 different wings, including an 18-meter Paramania GTR and the new APCO F1. And in my video of me flying an F1, which Nick shot for me, you can hear Keith in the background saying, I told him, slow down and take your time. And that's what he's doing, is he's testing the waters pretty quick. He'll figure it out. And sure enough, right about that time, that's where I went for my first wing over on the F1 and had an absolute blast up there.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
Good pilots around really, really helped.
Yeah, I thought for sure after you flew that thing, you'd buy one though.
No.
It's hard to justify buying an F1 right now, only because I haven't flown the right size. I think that was a 22 meter wing, and I should have been on an 18. Between that and the GTR, I would buy a GTR without even thinking about it right now, but it's hard to get them. I've spoken to one friend of ours that you and Keith and I all know, who says he has a connection and he has yet to order it, to my knowledge. I will buy one without even test flying it, because I know that if I don't like it, I can sell it for full price, because the Paramania wings are so hard to find. But I don't know what kind of wing I will end up with. I am looking for a new wing right now, and it's between the Paramania GTR, the APCO, either the F1 or the next one. They just released a new one, or they're about to release a new one. I think it's the F2. The Luna or the Freeride, and I think it really depends on test flying each of them.
I think with paragliding, paramotoring, I think you'll find in the end you'll probably have 2 or 3 wings. So you go, today I'm going to take this one. Better for soaring.
That's why I don't intend on selling my. I currently am flying a Dudek Universal 1.1, 25.5 meter, and it's a wonderful wing. Has a huge speed range. The speed bar is pretty much useless. It only gives me about 1 mile an hour, but other than that, it's got a huge range, and with the 2D steering tied in, it is a great wing.
Yeah, most people swear by them, or the Universal. Well, it is Universal 1-1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see that as a good wing. Carlo, he recommends it. Plenty of people recommend it. Good for soaring. Good all-rounder.
Keith has flown that wing, and even though he was over the weight range on it, he had a blast.
Oh yeah,
That's what he told me.
It cranked and banked real nice and did foot drag landing real well.
Well, I think most gliders seem to be better overloaded. I think
you're right.
Towards the upper end, at least. Yeah.
Well, that's why, like you just said, you flew a 22, but yet you're going to go to an 18. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, that's too small. But
not for him.
No.
I'm 150 pounds myself. 155.
Lightweight.
Yeah, that's why.
Lightweight.
Yeah, that's half of my weight. Not quite.
There's nothing wrong with that. It just means I need a different size wing.
Yeah. No, it's look. There's so many wings out there, and you just see so many reports about them, and you go, well, it's almost like toss a coin up. Which one? You know, if you could get to test them all, I'm sure you'd go, well, that's my favourite. But
absolutely,
yeah. And technology changes every moment. So, you know, what's good today is superseded tomorrow. Not to say that there's anything wrong with a 10 or 20-year-old wing, but it's not going to fly like a current one, but it'll still get in the air.
Absolutely.
Hey, Nick, I've got a 1995 APCO Prima 30 meter. Every once in a while, I pull that thing out when it's perfect conditions and fly an old purple one.
And you know what? It flies beautifully. It flies about half the speed as anything else that's out there, but it does fly nice.
Yeah. But you land it with the trimmers in and no wind, and you're going to end up on your knees. You put the trimmers out. Now the landing speed's fast enough that it can actually flare.
Well, you know, I'm kiting a SUP, which is nearly 20 years old.
Okay.
And I was talking to Sean Nasco the other day about it. And I said, well, put it this way. If I'm confident with what I got, when I do get a light wing or something new, it's going to be like chalk and cheese to me. So if I can handle a heavier wing kiting, it's got to be better for me, I think. You know what I mean? Like it will come a lot easier, and you know, get the chute up. It'll be, you know, trying to rush in front of me. So yeah, the technology's there, and you know, I'll still to touch a good wing, and you know, I know that they're half the weight of what I got, so it will be good to feel. I've never felt, you know, the lightweight fabric stuff. So
sure,
yeah, one day. I want a backpack. I'm not sure yet. We've been discussing this morning about electric power, and yeah,
we have not. And as far as I'm concerned, I've only ever seen one electric powered paramotor, and it was actually Mike Mixer who introduced me to that. Who's about 2.5 hours north of me. And to many, I guess he's a very controversial dealer. I don't know him too well, but there's a lot of discussion out there that is not necessarily good. I haven't had any bad experience myself, but he did show us the electric paramotor that he sells, and it seems like a very nice and user-friendly unit. I was kind of surprised by the amount of weight that it had. And I made that comment. I said, it sounds a little heavy. For
Yeah,
70
they're about 60 something pounds. Is that right?
Yes, and I said that, and he said, "Well, how much does your unit weigh?" And I said, "Well, 52 pounds." He said, "What about with fuel?"
Yeah.
I couldn't argue that. So my takeoff weight versus his is about the same. And if that means that I don't have to burn fuel, and we have the same weight, what can I complain about?
Yeah,
A half
I
hour
think
flight time.
I think they're actually if that's I think I call that an SP 140. Is that correct?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, well, we were talking about it earlier on, and they're about $6,600 when you compare to like 7+ for a petrol one. It's pretty reasonable price, and they're claiming anywhere between 1 to 1.5 hours.
That's something I've never actually seen successfully done.
No, but again, they state it depends on your thermals, of course, where they've had up to 2 hours.
Sure, but I've flown stuff with no motor for longer than that. So I mean that doesn't count. Sure. If you're counting thermals, that doesn't count.
No, I suppose with 66 pound on your back, Keith, you wouldn't. You're not going to thermal as good, are you?
No, because I thermal with 60. I thermal with more than that on my back regularly. I fly my motor with my Gin Carrera Plus, and I go out and thermal.
Keith and I have gone out several times. In comparison, I am nowhere near the pilot that Keith is. He has much more experience than I will ever have, only because he started so much sooner than I. But we have both taken off in the middle of the day at the same time and gone out and had a bunch of fun thermaling. We did it up in Ohio at a flying out there. Nick was there for that one.
Dave Purdens.
And Dave Purdens, that's one. And I spent probably the majority of that ridge soaring only because I knew where I could find the thermals being new to it. And Keith was out there chasing little puffy white clouds and somehow making it up. Being as inexperienced as I am, I was like, I don't know how the hell he did that, but he's way up there.
So. Yeah, well, that's the difference. Is the ridge soaring? Yes, it'll keep you up, but it's not going to give you a lot of height, is it?
No.
Exactly. And where we were, the elevation wasn't that high. I mean, there was a lot of different ridges and valleys, but they were all about the same height, and it really kept me about the same height as the top of the hill. It didn't really give me much else. On top of that, I was not flying with a Vario, so if I was anywhere away from that hill and away from that ridge, I couldn't see my gain or loss in altitude.
Yeah. I mean, over here, same as you guys, at 9:30, 10 o'clock, the thermals will start to pick up. And the first time I felt a thermal, I only felt the right-hand side, like I must have just touched the edge of the thermal, and it sort of like threw me, Okay. I thought, what's that? And someone said, oh, that's just the thermal starting up. Anyway, I kept going a bit longer, and I hit one right in the middle, and I just went up like an elevator, 600.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Because I got gauges on my aircraft, and it tells me everything. And I just felt like going up in an elevator at 600 foot, and like, wow, this is all right. And but again, you got to land with that stuff. So it's time to go. It's time to get on the ground before it gets any worse.
Yeah.
I'd really like to feel with the backpack. I'd like to feel those thermals and get in it. I've been gliding, so to me, I've flown aircrafts. I've done GA. And to me, gliding is the finesse of flying, and I think it's the same with paragliding.
Mhm.
So it's January 11th here, and a third of the way through the month. And with that, the further we get closer to February and March, the more we're going to be flying, and the more that I will be spending time closer to noon in the air. And this summer, one of my goals, I mean, I have several when it comes to aviation, but I do have a goal of being able to learn how to properly find thermals and fly in them. And Keith knows it. For those that aren't aware, Keith actually was an instructor for ultralight aircraft for quite some time.
Mhm.
And I always say it. He doesn't know it, but I do. He's going to teach me how to fly ultralight aircraft someday. So I got my eyes open, and I'm hoping that eventually I can afford to find an aircraft of my own and learn how to properly and safely fly.
Have you seen for sale, Keith, a Zigolo, $9,000, brand new, only done 2 hours. It's on the Paramotor site.
Okay.
Zigolo, you know what it is.
Yeah,
with the motor, everything. It's only done 2 hours, the whole machine.
Yep.
$9,000. What a bargain. They're about 20 grand roughly. I don't know about with the Vitarazi motor in it, but that's what it's got.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I saw the ad. Yeah.
You saw the ad, yeah.
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 Yep.
Because I've always wanted one of them. I think they're a pretty good kit to put together for the price. It's not bad. Not a bad unit.
For me, the goal is I'm not familiar with how they fertilize fields down in Australia, but way up in Wisconsin, there's a lot of people that fly airplanes, crop dusters to fertilize the fields.
They do there too.
Yeah.
For me, growing up, that's the only aviation that I saw growing up, being out in the country, was this random yellow airplane that would just come straight down towards the roof of my house and then pull up at the last minute and dust the field.
It's the only form of flying that you can legally go under power lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even though people do with a power parachute, but whether that's,
you see the interest though. That's what I grew up seeing, and for me, that is the goal. I would love to be able to fly, legally speaking, a crop duster. And there's so many people out there that say that the crop duster is the ultimate form of acrobatic pilot because of what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. They get the practice and they're utilizing it every day.
All day, every day, Over here, because of our situation with fires, most of the ag pilots also do fire rescue, like firebombing as well.
Yeah.
So they, if they need to, they just change and put water in or whatever, and off they go, retardant. And
thankfully,
more of every day.
Thankfully speaking, Wisconsin doesn't have the wildfires like Australia or California does.
Yeah, so, that's right. We've got a big country and we're subjected to it. So, I mean, the big helicopters like the Elvis and all that, we've got them from you guys, and we used to lease them. I think we got our own now after last year. Because
that's another thing that I'd love to
learn.
Oh,
yeah.
Why spend millions of dollars just leasing them from you guys when we should have our own?
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
The size of our country, we should have one of those in every state.
Yeah.
We only got 6 states.
That's another thing I'd love to learn is how to properly and safely fly a helicopter. But, at the end of the day, financially speaking,
that's a lot of money.
That's not an obligation that I can.
That's way too much money to learn, and just time on one is ridiculous.
Fortunately for me, being in the military, rotary craft, such as a helicopter, is something that I can utilize my financial benefits for. My tuition assistance will pay for full training in rotary blade aircraft. The only trouble with that is I'm active duty, and rotary aircraft training for helicopters is a full-time student position. I can't be full-time student and be active duty.
Full-time military, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means that I'm limited. So as of right now, I can't do that.
No, the only thing is, you know, save your pennies now, do it later. If things get better, you can buy a single-seater for, what, 60, 80 grand?
Less than that. You can buy a Mosquito for 52,000 with the turbine on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Trust me, I'm looking at them.
that now we're talking $52,000, and that's not including training.
Yeah, and that's only a single-seater, don't forget.
Right.
I mean, great for, you know, so's a motorbike. Basically, it's a single-seater, but, you know, you can't take someone where with the chopper you can't. Where
Exactly. And I think if the opportunity
to be able to take off, say, if you got the land in your backyard and land in your mate's backyard an hour away, you can't beat that.
That's pretty
You're
cool.
not wrong. But that's what's nice about having a paraglider is that you need so little space. And for some other than, you know, for example, if you compare my takeoff to Nick's takeoffs, Nick needs about twice as much space as I do. When I take off, I need about 30 feet on the ground, and after that, I'm going up.
Yeah.
You've got a huge ass motor. You weigh nothing.
Yeah, but that's what I said to Nick. I said, Nick, you need a big block. You know what I mean?
I've had a lot of people say to me that I need to let off the throttle because I'm climbing so damn fast. If I have a motor failure, I'm gonna crash. I go straight up like a rocket, and you know what? I enjoy it because I get me off the ground and I get up in the air and I can play real quick. But I can understand why they're concerned.
At 150 pounds, you'd have no problem. It's the same. We were talking with Sean yesterday, and he's 150 pounds dry.
Yep.
What's Sean's last name?
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
Am I pronouncing it correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
NASCAR.
Yeah. There you go.
And
Give you guys an eye test and see.
Oh yes, I've seen that one.
It works. It's scientifically proven.
It looks like I need more paramotor stuff.
Damn, isn't that amazing?
Exactly.
Damn the luck.
Yeah, I need them too.
Yeah, I think we all do. I know Nick does.
Yeah, I need at least 2 more motors.
Keith, we don't really need that test. We know it.
I couldn't resist though. I was doing something that popped up, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a good one."
Yeah, I saw it. I said, "Yeah, beautiful."
Yep. Oh
So I
yeah.
gotta ask you now.
I showed that to my wife, and she somehow thought it was questionable.
Leave it to Ellen.
She'll find a number in it.
Change that to I need to buy more baby clothes, and she might just so happen to like it.
That's for my grandson, by the way.
I know it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But
oh man.
anyways, down there in Australia, what kind of paramotor community do you guys have down there?
There is in all the states there are groups. Even in Central Australia or the North. There is a school here, not a school, but a club close to mine, and they're getting bigger every day. More and more people are flying. More and more, because we don't, in South Australia where I am, there really isn't a school, so you have to go to another state. And powered parachutes are okay. We can train for that here, but not backpacks. So
Okay.
if you want a powered paramotor, you have to go into state to get your license. And the difference is here, you have a proper full license. Now, it could cost, say, up to $4,500 Australian for your license, but at the same token, you get powered parachute, paragliding license, and a trike license. So you get 3 in 1.
So as a tourist, if I were to come to South Australia, I could not bring my equipment and fly down there.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, no, you can fly here, no problem.
Without getting a license?
Yep. Yeah, because you're from overseas.
Okay.
Matt Minyard, Glenn Topper, they've been here. A few others have been here.
Okay. We've
Yeah,
met that.
they brought their own machines over, the Parajets.
Mhm.
And the only thing they had to do was organise 2 fuel tanks for them, or 3, whatever it was. I think it was 3 of them came over. And yeah, Parajet supplied them a brand new fuel tank. That was the only thing they couldn't get on the aircraft, is a used fuel tank. So they just ordered 3 here, and they landed here in Sydney, and they were available there for them, and put their machines together in a motorhome and travelled. And they were going to go north towards Queensland, which is what we call the Sunshine Coast, a better area. But
Okay.
they were having thunderstorms up there, because when it's good, like in our summer here down south, it tends to rain and thunderstorms up north.
Okay.
So their summer is a wet summer, and people go up there on holidays. You go up there when it's our wet season, it's their dry season, and their better weather. It's not so humid, it's not thunderstorms. You know, they get monsoonal weather and everything up there. We don't get it in the south.
Okay. So
yeah, with your license, whatever, you can come and fly over here, and it doesn't affect you.
So in my case, in the U.S., we do not have a license that's required. No
That's
training,
right.
no license.
Yep.
So people
Yep.
like myself who just so happen to walk in one day to the right group, I'm now flying. And with that, I come kind of unique, right? I found myself in a position where I signed up for a MasterCard, or I'm sorry, American Express credit card.
Yeah.
And doing so, I found myself receiving a lot of free reward points, and it's enough to pay for me to go round trip all the way to France or England or wherever I want to go, free.
Yeah.
And I really would like to go to Ireland and fly in Ireland, but I've been told that in Ireland you have to have a license, and I don't have that, which means I can't fly there. So I'm kind of, looking at different opportunities and different ways that I could utilize this free money to travel the world and fly. I'd be more than happy to take my equipment, but I want to be able to fly when I get there. And if Ireland does not recognize my ability to fly, and then I won't go there.
Yes, it's almost cheaper to buy what they call a world ticket than to buy an airfare to America.
World ticket.
You know what I mean? Well, what it is like, let's say I want to fly to America, okay? It's, for me, I know I've been there, it's a 17.5-hour flight. Okay. Now, in that same time, I could probably fly to Europe, go to Dubai, stop there, go to somewhere else, let's say fly to England, stop there, and then go to France, stop there, go over to Italy, whatever, and then fly on to, let's say, England and then America, right? And then return from America back to Australia, and that's called a world tour. So you might have 10 stops, but it's all included in that world tour. That's just about as expensive as one flight for me there and back to America and back. So
Really?
like, for argument's sake, at the time that I did it and I came to America, it was something like $2,100. For $2,500, I could have made that a world tour. You understand what I mean? The flight is no different.
That's good to know.
Right? It's a little bit longer, more stops, but then, yeah, you got to spend money wherever you are. So that's the only thing. Not you have to, but you're going to end up, whether it's accommodation or whatever you do, before you fly off to the next destination.
Right.
That's one way. One way of getting a cheap airfare is it's called a world tour.
Well, I like the information. That's good to know. And it looks like Nick may be sleeping now, but
No, I'm here.
Keith may be listening.
I'm getting there myself.
you know-
I'm gonna have to hit it.
Oh, I understand. It's getting late here. It's past midnight here. I really did. I spoke with a bunch of other pilots in the area about flying out to England. I'm sorry, Ireland, and flying out there with the paramotors. Shipping our equipment. And Keith was the one that pointed out that said, you have to have a license to fly in Ireland, which is really kind of depressing for me because looking at my heritage, I'm Irish and German. So I'd like to be able to explore the countryside of Ireland. And if that means I'm going to be there, I'd like to fly there.
It's a beautiful country. My sister-in-law comes from there, and my brother absolutely loves the place. It's a very nice part of the world.
I'd love to explore it, and I'm sure I will in time. Because I know I'm stubborn and I want to do it, so it'll happen. But I'd also like to fly while I'm there, and if I'm going to utilize my free airfare and go somewhere and fly, I want to make sure that I can experience it all, and that means that I don't need a license. If Ireland needs a license, then I'm not going to go there to fly. I'm not going to go there first. I might go there in 5 years, but I'd like to go somewhere next year.
So you can't, you guys can't go to Canada and fly either, can you?
I don't know.
I think so. No.
No,
I think you can as a tourist. I think you're allowed to go there and fly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As a tourist, you'll have to find out, because I know Matt and those guys, Glenn Topper, they did it. So
if Matt Minyard did it as a U.S. citizen, well, I mean, we've all flown with Matt. The three of us have.
I will say, but Matt also said something when he got back. He got contacted by him saying he did something wrong too. I don't remember what it was.
Now,
I don't remember.
I'm not here to cause controversy or to talk shit, so I don't
wasn't
know.
anything like that.
That's all I gotta say. I don't know.
actually, Keith, what it was, they just were flying, I think, in a national park. That's all.
Oh, okay. It was
area.
something like that. You're right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It's somewhere down
that's
south. I do
right.
remember. I do remember seeing the film, and I think it was just a national park. That's all. Which
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think you're allowed to fly over a national park, but you have to be a minimum of 1,000 or 1,500 feet.
Yeah, we have different rules here for that than you guys do. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So if it's if it's a wilderness area, you have to fly 2,000 feet over it, but that has to be a designated wilderness area. Yeah. In this country.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But like
will say
national
that,
parks, we're just not allowed to land in them.
my first encounter with Matt was not necessarily pleasant. It was after several weeks of not flying, and I got out there, and I flew my paramotor like an absolute asshole. And when I landed, there was no questions asked. He only proceeded to give me lectures on why I was wrong. It was not necessarily the best first impression. However, in the next several days, this was all, of course, flying down in Louisiana, down at Kyle Lowe's place. In the next several days, my impression definitely improved, and I hope his did too. But I don't know, because realistically speaking, we didn't really carry on a discussion after the first time I met him, only because when I got out of the truck and got my gear out of Keith's trailer, like I said, I flew like an absolute asshole. I took off and hammered on my brakes and hammered on the throttle, and I did everything that I should not do. But I recognize that, and like I said, he called me out without even knowing my name. He's like, "You are wrong," and I did not care for that, and therefore I did not really try to engage with him after that. So,
no, it's a shame.
It is.
It's a shame because he does have a lot of knowledge.
He does. However, with all
that,
he never hear it.
There are people that when you see them flying, I call them cowboys. They put things at risk. Okay, when a guy's a CFI and he's flying his own aircraft, and I mean a fixed wing, it's a rag wing, and he flew over the top of our heads, 3 or 4 people on the ground, right? And he flew over the top of our heads and missed us by about 10, 15 feet. I don't appreciate shit like that. You don't have to show me your skills and put me in your danger.
Understandable.
Okay? So, and he was a CFI, and he's doing this at our airfield, and he got told when he landed, stop being a cowboy, stop showing off. You don't have to prove anything. It's not a competition. We're not in competition with one another.
No, and you're absolutely right. And I think your definition of cowboy is a wonderful way to define myself as a pilot. I do not, although I do fly reckless at times, I do my best not to put others at danger. So you'll find me taking off and within 5 minutes doing a wing over at 200 feet. And Keith can vouch for that. He's seen it. But when I've seen it too. And so has Nick. But when I do it, I am not over your head. I'm across the field. I'm away from you. The only one at risk at the time is me. And I think the biggest reason is because although I'm not old in many ways, but I'm 27 years old, but I'm not experienced in the way that a lot of others are. But I don't care because I'm not afraid of the ultimate sacrifice. I'm not afraid of dying. I fly just the way I ride a motorcycle or drive a car when I want to have fun. I'm doing it for me. I try not to sacrifice others' safety, but I do it because why not? At the end of the day, why not?
Because you can. Long as you remember to do it safely,
And I don't.
Hide is your friend. Hide's your friend.
Hyde is definitely my friend, and there's been days. Keith has turned around right now because he knows.
Oh, no,
not always.
I was putting something up.
Hyde is definitely my friend, and I've definitely had my days where I ignore the rules and I don't necessarily use height to my advantage, and I go out there and I play like a cowboy because why not? And I don't expect anybody else to understand it, because they're not in my shoes.
Yeah, but at
It's for the
At the
same
same-
reason that I don't wear a helmet on a motorcycle because, you know what? If something terrible happens, it happens. That's life, and it is what it is.
The only thing is, now, if I was Keith, I'd say to you, well, as much as I like you, I don't want you to be a statistic at my airfield.
And what
Okay.
And that's
Correct.
That's the same talk we've had.
we've had those discussions. And he's
We
the
have,
only
yeah.
one. He's not the only guy. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
No, that's
Yeah.
right.
We have a pilot that is local to Keith's field that
Mm-hmm.
he really likes to defy the rules of common sense by flying very low and very fast and very dangerously. But it really comes back to the fact that he's afraid of heights. and you know what? He knows who he is, and if he sees us, he'll know we're talking about him. But it is what it is.
When you're at an airport like our club airport, it's mainly aircraft, fixed wings, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there is guys that live around the area, and they'll come and visit us, and we'll do that low pass over our runway. But our runway's a mile long, so you can do that. You know, you're not doing, as long as you're not doing it over the hangar at 10 feet above the hangars at 6 o'clock in the morning to wake everybody up.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
But
No,
I guess my point when I started pointing out the Ireland and so on and so forth, I guess the reason that I pointed it out is that I know I have a ticket wherever in the world that I want to take it, and I'd like to take it somewhere and fly. And so I'm looking for a place to do so. Now, Ireland is probably number one on my list of destinations that I'd like to be. Germany is one of them. Greenland, Iceland, but Australia is also one. And you would know better than I because I've never been there. But
the thing is, it's a big country, and most of it's around the edges. You know, Central Australia is quite dry, quite very hot. Even though there is paragliders in Central Australia that fly as a club, and they do a lot of ridge soaring up there and thermal flying. And yes, a lot of Australia, most of us like inhabitants is around the water. You know, we're close to the beaches.
Yes.
yes,
Remember, before you go to Australia, though,
sure.
think about the fact that when you land in Australia, be ready to get kicked in the nuts by a freaking kangaroo.
Ah,
Now let me ask you, that lady.
everyone thinks it's going to kill you in Australia. It's not true.
I was going to say, if you're worried about problems in Australia, I don't think kangaroos are the number one cause of problems. But
Crocodile.
Although that one is it does have a video record of the risk.
it's definitely valid. It's definitely valid. I've seen the videos, but let me rephrase. How far from the coast are you?
Oh, I'm about 28. What would it be? 15 miles from the coast.
Okay.
So you're relatively close.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's say somebody like myself decided that they wanted to come down to Australia and fly. Now we've already decided that I don't need any kind of license because I'm a tourist. Let's say I wanted to bring a weapon and hunt while I was there. Was there anything there that allowed me to hunt?
No weapons here, buddy.
No?
None at all. You got to have a license. Yeah.
I don't know.
You can't carry. Yeah. We haven't had guns here for 22 years. They were taken away.
So how does a resident of Australia do any hunting?
If you're a farmer, you're allowed to have guns. Still got to be registered and licensed. you can be a member of a club, whether it's a rifle club, a pistol club. You're allowed to have guns, but yeah, concealed. If they're at home, they've got to be locked away. Your bullets can't be in the same place. If you got them in a car, it's got to be in the boot.
Oh, it's Illinois.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly how our country is starting to become. And
Do you know
I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just true.
You know what? In Australia, we don't have guns. The police and the crooks have guns.
Yep. Guys, I'm
Okay.
gonna have to hit it. I'm tired. I got to be up in the morning, get to work. So,
Cheers,
5
Keith.
a.m.,
Hey,
it's midnight here. Yep.
Keith, it's been good flying with you, and it's been good talking with you.
Good talking to all you guys. So look forward to flying with you.
We'll be
Someday,
flying
maybe.
again soon.
Yep.
Hey, Keith.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Thursday.
See you Thursday. Sounds good. It's supposed to be a decent
Fine.
evening. Try and get off early. Yep.
I hope
You guys
so.
flying on Thursday?
That's
You're
the
damn
idea.
right.
Nick's going to get jealous.
Yeah. He'll
I'm
be
going to drive
flying
into
soon.
Florida and go fly tomorrow. And you guys,
He
I'll
knows
fly
how to
Wednesday.
find us. If he really wants to fly with us, he could be there by then.
Yep.
Thing
Guys.
is, I could drive to Florida by then, be flying in 75-degree weather too.
Yeah, that's true.
Keith, we'll see you next time.
Have a good one. Good night,
Thank you,
guys.
Keith.
Yep. Take care.
Right,
Good night.
Yep.
Cheers.
Nick, I gotta be honest, I'm surprised you're still awake. I thought you were asleep about 4 different times.
No, I just laid my back. I pulled my back really bad today.
No worries. I feel the same way. I was helping somebody move and I
Hey,
tweaked my back.
Tristan, at the moment it's 4:47 in the afternoon tomorrow here, right? It's Tuesday here.
Give us
And
the damn lottery numbers then.
And Nick and I have spoken to 9 o'clock Australian time, so that's 5 hours from now.
Oh,
Haven't we, Nick? Several
yeah.
times.
so right now here, local time is 12:18 in the morning. It is the
Yep.
beginning of Tuesday. And
Yep.
by beginning, I mean very beginning, 12:18 in the morning.
Yep.
So
We're roughly 12 and a half hours ahead of you.
wow.
No, sorry. Hang on. No. What am I talking about? What time did you say it is there?
12:18 a.m.
You're 14 hours in front the next day.
And he still won't. He
So-
gets ahead of us, but he won't give us the damn lottery numbers.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I need to see ahead, but I can't do that. Yeah.
Well,
I can give you our cross lotto numbers, but that won't do you any good. Our lotto numbers.
Excuse me about 5 minutes here so I can run to the restroom real quick and pour myself another drink.
Yep.
So I'll be right back.
No worries. So, Nick, you've been flying?
No, not in the past few weeks. I've been working a lot.
Yeah. What have you done to your back?
I was
Too much
taking I was taking a hot water tank down out of the ceiling today at a Dollar General, and just a 6-gallon tank, but it was full of water. Coming down a ladder, and I wrenched my back pretty good.
Oh, shit. That's no good. And have you fixed that motor yet?
Nope.
The
It's laying here right
retirement?
beside me here. It's laying right beside me here in the paracamper, but it ain't fixed yet.
Yeah, get yourself a big block, mate. You won't know yourself.
Yeah, you watch. I'll probably go buy like a 250 or something.
Why not? Why not? I would.
Because my back won't support me walking with it's the problem.
What's the one that Gorilla's got? What's that motor?
That's a
230 or
2-something.
240?
Yeah,
Yeah.
240.
It actually sounds quite nice. It's got a sort of a deeper tone when he's flying
Yeah.
through the air.
But that's definitely
Yeah.
not a foot launch machine.
Not, it's too heavy, is it?
For me, yeah. For most guys, it'd be too heavy.
I thought he foot launches, or is that another? Is he
No,
got another one?
No, he's got the same thing Tristan's got. He's got one of those Russian Stars he flies.
The SkyMax Star?
Yeah, Gorilla bought one too.
Good. It's a wonderful unit. It really is.
What kind of deal can you get me on one?
What's that?
And say, what kind of deal can you get me on one? What kind of deal can you get me on a SkyMax? Because
you know, I couldn't tell you without making a phone call. At the time, I know that I paid $6,750, or no, $6,450. However, they did go up in price, but I think they come back down. So
I think they're about 7 or 7.2. They are.
I think 68 to 7,000 would be a good estimate, because I know they came up in the last year. But I couldn't tell you without making a call, only because I'm not a certified dealer at this time. I am working on doing my part. SkyMax is kind of particular. They won't let anybody sell them. They want you to have a instructor license in order to distribute them. So with that, I have to get my PPG 1, 2, 3 and instructor license.
Yeah, there's a guy here in Australia that sells them.
Okay.
And they're $7,000, which is really pretty cheap. But
that's not bad at all.
The motor, what motor is it, Tristan?
It's the Vitarazi 185.
No, this one's not. It's called, is it an MV? Does that mean anything? MV 180 or something like that. It's not a Vitarazi. That was the only thing, because like I thought that's not a bad price, but it's not a Vitarazi. I don't know anything about the engine. For an Australian price, 7,000. That's cheap.
Oh, they can put whatever motor they want on them. You could buy the frame. They're probably buying the frames and putting some different motor on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. It must be putting on their own motors over here for that price. That is relatively cheap. There's another guy that sells them here with the Vitarazi, but they're over $9,000 plus.
Now, what is the exchange rate for Australian versus US dollars?
Well, the Australian dollar at the moment is flying up. I believe it's about 77 cents. It's probably about 75, 76 in exchange. But in the last month, it's probably gone up, 5, 6, 7 cents or more in the last 3 weeks, probably. Since the election, it seems to be going up.
75
don't know why.
Australian to the $1 American?
Yeah.
Which would mean $7,000 here would be more.
Yeah, it would be 10 grand. Like 7 grand there would be like 10 grand here.
Which means you're definitely getting a decent price for them.
Well, that's why for 7,000, that's a cheap price as far as I'm concerned for any paramotor here in Australia. But the motor, I'm not
saving a lot of money on shipping because you're probably closer in some way or another to the distributor.
Well, where's the SkyMax made?
Russia.
Right.
Pretty close to us.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends on what part of Russia, because although Russia is close to the US, it doesn't mean all of Russia is.
No, I know, but for us, whether it's Japan, China, Russia, it's all just like straight down to the underside, if you know what I mean. You guys are up on top. So yes, for you, it's just over across the border, Alaska, and it's into America. I know that. But with us, it's straight down. So anything that comes from China, Japan, it's here in days. So from Russia would be the same if, unless it come by boat.
Okay.
Then it takes 3 to 4 weeks. a frame over there, let's say a frame with your J bars, with your fuel tank, with your netting, would it be under $2,000 over there?
With the harness?
No, no harness, just the frame, your J bars, your fuel tank.
I still don't think it would be under 2,000 US. I don't think it would be.
Yeah. Right. Well, the guy.
I think at minimum it's 3,000 US.
All right. Well, I've priced one, and right at the moment I can't remember the name, but it's coming from somewhere, either the Czech Republic or something like that. Landed here $1,750. So it's no motor. It is with the J bars and everything. All you need is your harness and a motor, fuel tank, everything's there, and that's landed in Australia by boat. It might take 4 weeks, but $1,750. That's Australian. That's pretty good, I think. Because anything from America, even Mark Paraswag, he can probably get down to $1,800, $1,900, something like that for me. But I still got to then pay the difference in the dollar plus freight.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, we're talking $2,500 at least. So that's a saving for me for like $1,750, $750. So, you know, it's half the way for a motor. And I can buy a motor from here. There are people that have them here in our own state. Yeah, I'm just sort of pricing it. I don't have the dollars. Otherwise, I would have had one already, but I'm working on it. I got too much invested in the machine behind me. That's 7.5 years of hard work. I built the whole thing myself, and about $30,000.
You know what, though? Hey, kudos to you, because not many people can say, I built this myself. Not many people can say, I have the knowledge to build it myself.
I've come from drag racing. I've come from drag racing where we build chassis. I mean, chrome moly and all this.
Yeah, that's.
I know the best welders, etc., etc. I can weld, but I didn't weld it myself. I tack weld things, and that's it.
Hey,
I let someone else do.
Honesty, though, you at least admit
it.
I'm a welder by trade.
Yeah,
I'm a welder in the military, and you know
Beautiful.
What? If somebody said I welded it myself, but I knew it was my welds,
yeah,
wring their neck.
Nah. Look, the guy that welded it for me, my cousin, he will weld upside down, fucking you name it. And I said to him, look, I can turn the chassis over. He's upside down welding it. He goes, nah, it's all right. Leave it as it is.
Yeah.
And you know that aircraft that you're looking at?
Uh-huh.
I won an award for the most innovative ultralight design back in 2009.
That's good.
And there's only aircraft like 80% scale Mustangs, 80% scale Spitfires, Jabiroos, Light Wings, a lot of top name aircrafts and my powered parachutes on that. It's an award that's not given every year.
That's good.
And it just absolutely freaked me out. Most innovative ultralight design. And I received it in front of 250 people at a dinner. I had to go, and I didn't know I was going to win it. And we get to this entertainment centre where the show, the function is. Sit down at the tables, and they had this big, huge screen on the wall, you know, just projecting onto the wall all these photos of the weekend, and it might have had maybe one or two pictures of the same aircraft. It gets to mine, and there's about 14 different photos of the engine, photos of my dash, photos of this, photos from that angle. And there's other guys sitting at another table, my mates, and they're sort of looking at me like pointing up to the screen going, what's going on here, Walt? And I'm just shrugging my shoulders. I don't know.
You bribed
Anyway,
them.
well, after winning the award, I said, well, that's why they had all the pictures of my aircraft up there, you know. And so, yeah, I was very honoured that night. We were actually sitting at the same table as the guy that put the award together. His son got killed many years ago, and it's called the Scott Winton Memorial Shield.
Okay.
And he was an innovator of ultralights here in Australia. And hence I'm on that placard, you know, and I got a little award and got the big award that sits in Canberra. Our main office is in Canberra, where the government is and all that. And yeah, my name's in gold lettering.
That's good. That's good. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really honoured with that. And at the same time, and I knew I was going to win Best Powered Parachute. And yeah, I won that award as well.
Well, you should.
And
I mean, I haven't seen it myself, but seeing from what I can behind your head there, I mean.
Well, Tristan, you said you're a welder. Now, I had engineers, aircraft engineers. It's actually at this site here, and my machine was like roped off, you know, and I had a lot of guys, and they were actually aircraft engineers, and they were obviously the judges as well for the whole event. I didn't know. And they said, oh, you don't mind if we come and have a look at your machine, jump the fence? Yeah, sure. And I explained everything, talked to them, told them, you know, everything. And a couple of the guys, engineers, said to me, goes, I really like your welds. I said, actually, they're not my welds, but yeah, they are good, aren't they? And because it's all TIG welded. And I've had quite a few welders that saw it before it was powder coated, you know, like commenting on the welds. And when you got flight engineers and so on, and they come up to you and, you know, tell you your welds are good and this and that and the other, it's really, you know, one of those ticks that.
Yeah.
It's not on my forehead, but it's in my brain, and it's a good feeling.
I'll say that in my time of in my experience, that having somebody come up and say, I'm an engineer, that's a nice weld. I've kind of learned that doesn't always mean a good thing. There's a lot of people out there that say I'm an engineer that don't really earn the title. However, when you have a welder come up and say, hey, I don't know who done that, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
They know what they're saying, and it's true. And you know, a machine, I don't care what kind of machine it is, whether it's an aircraft or a tool or a car, it's only as strong as its weakest point. And if its weakest point is the welds that are holding it together, well, it's not worth the material that it's made out of.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot.
My problem, Tristan, is I've come from drag racing, which we build things like chassis of race cars, very, very strong, and large tubes and all that. And coming from that background, I could have gone lighter in all my tubes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. But you knew better too.
I know better too now. I mean, it's only 35 or 65 thou wall. You know, it's thin stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole machine could have been lighter and less bars. You know, if I was to make it again, it'd be a little different. Yeah, there's always ways. Once you've made something, look, I know all the little faults. You wouldn't pick it, someone else wouldn't pick it, but I look at it, I know the faults because I built it.
But that's the beauty of building your own machine, is that you know where you can improve and you know where the weak spots are, and all you can do from that point on is go up. No pun intended, being aircraft related, but all you can do is go up. And
yeah, well, you know, over time, what I've learned is, hence, like I said before, I got a 503, which is 52 horsepower, where I should have bought the 582, which is 65 horsepower. Now, that's a 30% more power. And you know what that means. You know what that means in anything, whether it's a drag car, whether it's a fucking motorbike, 30% more power is a lot. And
now, for retrospect, sitting in the shed, I have now I come out of a snowmobile, so it's a single spark engine. You know, it doesn't have dual spark plugs, but
yes,
it's not quite aircraft rated. But I got a 670 sitting there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can't wait to find the right aircraft to put it in.
Well, that's the same as a 582, what we call the 582 or the 585. Yeah,
but I've got one sitting there.
Same cubic. It's not that much bigger in engine, but yeah, 15 horsepower over 52 is 30% more power. And I didn't think of that. I did, but I also presumed that it was a little bit heavier, and my calculations weren't right, where the radiators for those things being water cooled, it was only about, in total, it was only about 4 kilos heavier. Big deal. You know, 9 pounds.
That's the difference.
8, 9 pounds.
You're taking a leak before you take off.
Well, yeah, well, that thing weighs, with me in it, full of fuel, it's about 900 pounds.
Okay.
She's a heavy aircraft. But that's the way I built it. One seat, huge tank, plenty of fuel, body work, because you see a lot of the trikes, and especially the Australian ones, they basically look like a go-kart in the sky, 4 wheels or 3 wheels. And I didn't like that. I wanted something that resembled an aircraft, and that's hence the body work.
Yeah.
And so on. So
it's
that's
beautiful.
the way.
Beautiful the way it is.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm happy with it, but yeah, a bigger wing and a little bit more engine.
I don't think I could say I've seen another one like it.
No, that's right. And you know what? What I envisaged because I basically designed it from a lounge chair. All right, sitting in my lounge chair, I bought the front wheels, I bought the wheels, and then went, right, that's where the front wheels got to be. And I knew roughly, because I had flown a powered parachute before, right, because my mates had some that they built. And like I said, plus coming from GA, I knew how to fly and everything. And one day we went to a spot and they said, go for a fly while, take my machine up. I said, okay. And I got in it, and it didn't faze me. I've never flown a powered parachute, but I've flown a $250,000 aircraft, so that wasn't going to faze me, you know. And I took off, and they said, all right, just go fly around. I said, no, I want to make sure I can land this thing. And I come around. First time I missed it, so I went around again, come down, put it down, taxi, took off again, and then I stayed up for half an hour or so checking the place. And I said, I just wanted to make sure I can get down first.
Well, I think that's something that I can appreciate just as well as Nick can. I don't know if he's still awake over there. But
Oh, I'm awake.
Yeah, he's awake.
you sure look like you're comfortable.
My back is in severe spasms. I'm laying on my
Hey,
back.
you know,
where it doesn't.
I got nothing against that. You know, if we get to the point where it's time to sign off, nobody's gonna hold it against you. You know,
Yeah, you tell us, Nick, if you want to go.
so.
I probably should, but I don't really. I'm still awake.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's 20 minutes to 1 o'clock here Central Time in the U.S.
Where
It's just-
are you, Tristan?
I'm kind of central in the U.S. If you know where St. Louis is,
Yeah.
I'm just to the east of there, about 20 minutes away.
Yep.
I'm over at Scott Air Force Base. So, but
Okay,
it's
so
pretty
you're-
late for me. I'm not gonna lie. It's quite late for me, but I'm having a good
gotta be
time.
I gotta be up in
You
about
gotta
4
work.
hours to
Nice drink and
finish some plumbing.
Yeah, well, you might have to rest your back.
All
Yeah.
the heavy lifting's done. The tank's up there. I just gotta finish hooking it up and do the startup on it. Then I can go get my signature and go to my next job.
Yeah,
Be
right.
on the ground.
hopefully you got some ibuprofen there to help you out with that. But you know, if at any time you feel like it's time to go, don't let me be the reason you stay.
I can let you two have it. Hang on there as long as you want.
Like I said, don't let me be the reason you stay. If you feel you gotta go,
Yeah, no, we'll call it a night, a day, whatever. It's
yeah. What time is it by you?
5:12, just about getting